everyone, welcome to Global Online University. In this video, we will be looking at last 10 years questions of UGC Net Paper 1 from Teaching Aptitude, Research Aptitude, Communication and ICT. The main aim of bringing this video is to give you an idea of what the pattern is being followed in these 4 units, and also for students who have not prepared their paper 1 properly, it will boost your preparation because this video will cover questions from all the topics of these 4 units. So eventually it will help increase your marks in paper 1. So do watch the video complete to get more marks in paper 1.
Before going to the questions, I would like to tell you that our channel has brought for you one day revision PDF for UGC Net Paper 1. This includes 2000 more than 2000 MCQs, which will cover your current affairs, all PYQs of all the units, and the top MCQs that you should definitely study before the examination. So, if you have very less time, in one single day, you can study these questions and you can definitely boost your score in paper 1. If you want to get access to the PDF, you can contact this number and contact on WhatsApp. The fees is just 499. We also have a paper 2 notes and MCQs PDF for students who are preparing in geography, economics, commerce, social work, English management, Hindi or law. So if your subject is among these, we provide you complete syllabus theory notes which you can study in like 1 or 2 days, and you can cover your entire syllabus, and you can even practice through the MCQs. So if you want to get access to these notes for a paper 2, you can contact this number and the fees is just 999. Okay, the first question here is, what is required for good communication? So, as you all know, there are certain factors or certain elements that you should keep in mind for having a effective communication. Is it clarity of thoughts, dramatic presentation? Dramatic presentation, like you see in the Sasbahu serial on the television? No, that is not good communication. Speaking in mild tone. So, mild tone is not important, students. Your tone should be as per the situation. Speaking without pause. So, sometimes a person is not very good in a particular language, so he might use some pauses. So, even if you're using, if even if you're saying without pause, that is also not very important. The most important is clarity of thoughts is the right answer. What you want to convey, that is more important, and the way you are conveying is more important. Okay, next is expressing words in communications falls under. So expressing words, when you are like if people are talking and one is saying something and expressing, so this expressing words will fall under sender, message, channel or receiver. So the right answer here is option A. Obviously, sender is the person who is transferring the message, so he will be expressing his or her thoughts. So expressing words will come under a center. The message, whatever the idea or the information is, that is the message. Channel is how you are sending that message. Is it through an email or a letter or through face to face conversation? And receiver is the person who receives the message. Okay, next. Communication via new media such as computers, telecommunication, internet, mobile telephony is termed as. So in this question, they are saying that whenever there is exchange of information, via means through new media means the latest technologies, like we have computer, internet, and teleshopping. Which kind of communication it is? What communication you call it when it is through the latest technology? Is it entertainment, interactive communication, development communication, or communitarian? The right answer is interactive communication. B is the right answer. Next is, which of the following is not a principle of effective communication? Okay. Uh, the options are persuasive and convincing dialogue. Yes, this is important for a communication to be effective. Since the question is saying which is not a principle, so this is not right because it is a principle. Participation of the audience is very important because it gives you feedback. This is also a principle. Strategic use of grapevine. See, grapevine is when there is communication in an organization like gossips and rumors, that is grapevine. So we should use that information also carefully. While which is not a principle of communication, is option C, one way transfer of information, because effective communication will always be when there is feedback involved in the communication process. So one way transfer of information is not an effective communication. Okay. Classroom communication is normally considered as, the question is asking, how is the normal classroom communication, how is it regarded, or how is it looked at, whether it is effective, cognitive, affective, or selective. The right answer is cognitive. So cognitive is the process when, the students, they learn something, understand it, and apply it, like in maths, when the teacher teaches the students some rules, and they apply it in the problem. So this is cognitive. P is the answer. When verbal and non-verbal messages are contradictory means opposite, it is said that most people believe it. So sometimes you might see, you ask someone, how are you, they say yes, I am fine, but from the face you can understand that there is something wrong with them, they are sad, or they're tensed about something. So the question is asking, what will you believe? Will you believe the verbal message, means that the person is saying he's fine, or will you believe the non-verbal message, which his eyes or the face expression is showing? Obviously, you will believe the non-verbal messages, because students, with our tongue we might say something else, but we can. It is very difficult to hide your expression. That because that is why most people will believe in the non-verbal messages rather than the verbal messages. Okay, C is the answer to this. In a classroom, probability of message reception can be enhanced by. So if you want the messages that is sent by the teacher, you want it to go to the students appropriately, or if you want to have more impact, what should you do? Should you expose ignorance of students, means if someone is doing wrong, you should like punish him, or expose him. No, this is not right. Increase the information load. Okay, thus giving facts and information will not enhance message reception. This is not right. Using high decibel audio tools. So you think only speakers and all these tools will increase message reception? This is also not right. The right answer is establishing a viewpoint. If you want that the student should understand something, so you should establish a viewpoint. Like if you want to tell the students that junk food is harmful, so instead of saying that junk food is bad, that will not impact the student. The right way is to tell the benefits of eating healthy food and the disadvantages of eating junk food. So when students will see there are numerous benefits of eating a healthy food, and the disadvantages associated with the junk food, they will automatically start eating healthy food. So this is by establishing a viewpoint. That is why D is the answer. A good communicator begins his or her presentation with a non sequitur, repetitive phrase, icebreaker, or complex question. So, as you all know, that whenever a teacher or any speaker starts with a new topic, so they should always want it to be interesting. So, the good idea is to start it with icebreaker. Icebreaker is like if a teacher is going to tell you about mountains. Okay, so instead of just starting with mountains, she can ask, has anyone ever been to a mountain? And then she can ask, further ask, how was it, what was the trees like, what was the temperature like. So that means that is an icebreaker, asking a particular kind of a question, or starting with a small game or a quiz. So that is a good idea. Icebreaker is a good idea for starting with a presentation. The classroom communication should essentially be, the question is asking, how should be a classroom communication? What is the feature of classroom communication? Empathetic, abstract, non-descriptive, or country? The right answer is option A, empathetic. It means considering the feelings of other. If we are talking about like wealth or salary, we should a classroom communication or discussion should be in a manner that it does not hurt the feeling or of poor students who does not belong to a very rich family. So that is empathetic. Listening to a lecture is information listening, evaluative listening, empathetic listening, or none of these. So as you all know, when the teacher delivers a lecture, her target is to give information to the students. So it is a kind of information listening. The students are learning some facts or information about a particular topic in a classroom. Is that teaching on TV is superior to classroom instructions? Because the question is saying that there are more benefits of teaching on TV rather than classroom, and the question is asking why is that so? Whether it is very large classes are made possible and thus it is economically advantageous, or experts for teaching a difficult topic can be arranged and others can benefit. Teaching material can be filled for reuse, or all of these. The right answer to this question is option D, because if you look at the options more carefully, it is saying very large classes are made possible. Yes, this is true, because more people are targeted. Experts for teaching a difficult topic can be arranged. So sometimes the teacher might find some topic difficult, so there could be replacement for that topic, and uh, the teaching material could be reused. Okay, because it is film, it is recorded, it can be used. So all of these are benefits of teaching on TV as compared to classroom. A speaker using complex terms is an example of physiological noise, psychological noise, semantic noise, or physical noise. So these are the different barriers of communication. Physiological noise is like if somebody is having headache or stomach ache or they are hungry, that is physiological. Psychological means if they are shy or if they are introvert. Physical noise is like if there is some background disturbance in the class, in the area where the speech is going on. So if you look at option C, it is the right answer, semantic noise. So complex terms, sometimes a speaker might use very difficult terminology which the audience might not understand. So this is an example of semantic noise, the barrier related to language. Okay, language barrier. Assertion and reason question. Assertion is saying media entertainment does not enhance cultural level of society, while reason is saying most media entertainment encourages escapism, not content quality. So as you all know, whenever you see a movie or a serial, it takes you to a different world, that is called escapism. Okay, so most media it is able to do that, but there is not content quality. There is no content quality. While you look at assertion, assertion is also right. It is saying that media entertainment does not enhance the cultural level of society, because not only media will not be able to do this. So although individually they are right, but their reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. That is why B is the right answer to this question. Touch is an important element in business communication, interpersonal, intrapersonal communication, or none of these. So touch is an important element in interpersonal communication, the communication that happens between two people. It could be formal or informal. Next is in analog mass communication, stories are. So analog mass communication, it could be a radio, which is an example of analog mass communication. So there the stories are static. Okay, there is a person who is delivering that story or that message, and the other person is listening. It is not dynamic like a classroom where the students and the teacher they discuss. So that is dynamic. Interactive is also the same thing, and exploratory is exploring or finding out why something happens. So in analog communication, stories are static. A message beneath a message is labeled as embedded text, internal text, intertext or subtext? The right answer to this question is option D, subtext. It means you know that somebody has a bad breath. Okay, whenever he is saying there's a bad smell coming out from that person's mouth. So instead of saying that your mouth is smelling bad, you can say, okay, there is a new flavor of mouth freshener. Do you want to try it? So although you are pointing out or you are just saying to try a mouth freshener, but you are instead indirectly trying to say that there is bad smell coming out of your mouth. So that is called subtext. The message is something else, but you are telling something else. Message beneath the message. Is the answer. Which of the following are part of active listening? Eye contact, nodding, seeking clarification, or all of these? So active listening is eye contact because it helps it tells the speaker that the receiver is understanding. Nodding also because you are sending a feedback. Seeking clarification if there is a doubt from the students or the listeners end, the speaker understands, okay, they are understanding something, that is why they are asking a doubt. So all of these are a part of active listening. Next is to decode a message is to. So there are two important terms, encode and decode. The question is asking what is the meaning of decoding a message? Evaluate a message, translate, reject a message, or interpret a message. Decoding, it helps at the receiver's end, you have to remember the students, and encoding, it happens at the sender's end. Okay, so if you look at the question, to decode a message, it means to interpret a message. Okay, understand what the speaker is trying to tell you. Okay, that is decoding. One's own description as a person is self concept, self perception, self awareness, or self respect. What do you think of yourself? How, where do you see yourself in a group? That is called self concept, is the answer. Which of the following is the essence of effective communication? So, what is the basis of effective communication? Message, feedback, encoding, or decoding? So, as you all know, message is the information. Encoding, it happens at the sender's end, and receiver and at the receiver's end, decoding happens, and it is interpreting the message. Feedback is the essence of effective communication. Okay, B is the answer. A low context culture is where most information is unspoken, most information is explicitly stated in a verbal message, most of the information is apparent, or most information is non existent. So, there are different types of culture students, like there is high culture context which happens usually in India and Japan, while there is low context culture which usually happens in US or your European countries, where most of the information is explicitly stated. Okay, there is not a very the sender and the receiver do not have a very personal bond between each other. Okay, they talk formally, all the information is explicitly stated. Okay, a verbal communication technique used in teaching is, so expression in words, no, this is not right. Presentation without the pause is also not right. Resorting, semantic jugglery is also not right. The right answer is varying the speed of voice and tone. So whenever required, the teacher can emphasize on a particular point and she can change the tone as well of her voice. So which makes different things important. Okay, so that tells students, okay, this is important. Through the pitch, also through the tone, um, the teacher can tell students what is important in it. Figure out the components of non-verbal communication in the classroom from the following. So if you look at the options, facial expression, culture, space, and seating arrangement. Okay, let's read the others. Speed of utterance, good feel good factors, acoustics, high speed physical ambience, teacher learner distance. Facial expression, kinesics. Kinesics is the movement of the body. Okay, and personal space. The right answer or the most appropriate answer is option D, facial expression, kinesics, and personal space. Communication between HR manager and salesman is an example of. So students, in an organization also there are different types of communication: upwards, downwards, diagonal, or cross communication. So if you look at the options, whenever HR manager and salesmen they are talking, it is an example of downward communication. Okay. Horizontal is when people of equal status they are communicated. Vertical means when a senior is talking to a junior. So even that is of two types, upwards and downwards. So when a senior is talking to the junior, it is downwards, or when the junior is talking to the senior, it is upwards communication. Okay. So diagonal is when the people of different departments or different statuses they communicate. It is diagonal communication. The place where public opinions are formed as a result of communication is. So students, sometimes what happens is there is a place where citizens they come together, they exchange their opinions regarding some public affairs, they discuss, and they eventually come at a public opinion. So that is called a public sphere. B is the answer to this question. Catwalk is a fine example of verbal communication. So, do you think catwalk is verbal? No words are used. So, it is not verbal. Cybernetics also is not the right answer. Interpersonal is when two people are talking. So, that is also not right. It is an example of kinesics, body movements, how you are walking or how your hands are moving. That is kinesics. Okay. So, a kind of walk where like models walk or cats walk is called a catwalk. What is the type of verbal communication do in a classroom? Spoken, spoken and written, written or body language? The right answer to this is spoken and written. Teacher explains while speaking also, and she writes also in the classroom. So both of these are used in a classroom. What is meant by semantic in classroom teaching? It concerns excellence in teaching, concerns problems in communication, concerns verbal and non-verbal code, or concerns transmission of information. So semantics in classroom communication is it concerns verbal and non-verbal codes. C is the answer to this question. Group of people formed through web-based interaction is called media community, virtual community, international or internet community. The right answer is virtual. Virtual is something that it physically does not happen, but still it is there. So, sometimes you might have seen there are different groups that are formed on Facebook or on Twitter. So that group of people is called a virtual community. Okay, physically they don't exist, but in the virtual world, like the world of computers and internet, it does exist. Telephone is an example of linear communication, non-linear, circular, or mechanized. The right answer is linear communication because there is one way transfer of information is there in a telephone. Both encoding and decoding of message are influenced by our emotions. Is this statement true, false, or maybe or never? So, students, you all know, you must be knowing that emotions are so important whenever there is communication. So, while the speaker is saying or while the receiver is interpreting the message, emotions are very important. This statement is absolutely right. That is why A is the answer to this question. Dash means to impart understanding of the message. Encoding, receiving, receiver, decoding, or feedback. So impart understanding of the message is called decoding. It happens at the receiver end. Next is dash is the first enemy of communication. Noise, clarity, politeness, or completeness. So as you all know, clarity is very important. What the person is trying to say is very important. Polite, we shouldn't be rude while communicating. Complete means uh, the information is complete, it is not in parts. So all these three are important, but the enemy or what is a barrier to communication is noise. Noise is any kind of hindrance that it becomes an obstacle in the communication process. Hence A is the answer. Next is, which of these elements is not involved in the process of communication? So if you look at the options, sender is involved in communication. He is the person who initiates the conversation. So this is not right. Message is also very important. Channel is which means we are using for communication is also very important. But pipe is not involved in the process of communication. So this is an odd one out in the four options. Next is for effective communication. Which of these commandments should not follow? Objective of communication, inadequate medium, clarity, or adequate medium. The right answer to this question is option B, inadequate, means something that is not enough, not sufficient. So there, the medium should be sufficient. So the question is saying for effective communication, inadequate medium should not be followed. For example, you want to uh, transfer some important information to somebody who is living in abroad, and if there is there is going to be a power cut, so that is an example of inadequate medium. Evaluative listening is successful when accurately distinguish between a message, understand the intended meaning of a message, make critical assessment of the accuracy of facts of the message, or all of the above. The right answer is option C, make critical assessment. So what is evaluation? Evaluation is passing judgments to anything. That is called evaluation. So making critical assessment of the facts is evaluative listening. Next question is the mode of communication that involves single source transferring information or transmitting information to a large group or number of receivers simultaneously, means together at once, is called, it is called mass communication. For example, your radio or your television or your internet, all these are example of mass communication. Your newspapers, which is called print media, is also an example of mass communication. In the classroom, the teacher sends the message either as words or images. The students are really encoders, decoders, agitators, or propagators. So the students are decoders because their task is to understand what the teacher is trying to say. That is why B is the answer. An interview is a type of dyadic communication, multi-dyadic, mass communication, or none of these. So in an interview, what happens? There is one interviewer who is taking the interview, and the person who is giving is called interviewee. It is a kind of dyadic communication. Dyadic communication is another name for interpersonal communication. So interpersonal is when there is communication between two people. Okay, when there is one person, it is called intrapersonal, but when there are two people, it is called interpersonal communication. And dyadic communication is another name for interpersonal communication. Is the answer. Listening is badly affected by message overload, access of listened material, high speed of speaking, a sizable hearing loss, or all of these. So, what are the factors that can badly affect or affect the listening in a negative way? It is when the speaker is giving a lot of information. Yes, this will affect the listening. High speed means speaking very fast. That will also affect listening. A sizable hearing loss or physiological problem is if the listener has some hearing problem, so that will also affect listening. That is why D is the answer to this question. Better classroom management means peer group work and better interaction among pupils. Yes, this is important for a better classroom management. Prior preparation of the teacher in the making of suitable aids. Yes, this is important. The teacher should do all the preparation for a class. Punctuality of the teacher in the class and finishing the course. Even this is very important. So, how a class will be managed throughout the session? For these, all of these are very important factors. That is why D is the answer to this question. Next is which of the following teachers will you like the most? One who uses broad board occasionally, or one who uses film projector along with proper use of the board, one who uses motion picture as a last resort, or one who uses charts and maps. The right answer is that the teacher should use both film projector and the board. That is why B is the right answer. Next is the primary channels used by individuals to communicate with others are radio and television, email, tone and voice, or sight and sound. So both sight and sound are the primary channels or primary medium that are used by people to communicate with other individuals. Given below are two statements. One is assertion and the other is reason. You have to find out if both assertion and reason are right, or if one is right and the other is wrong. Let's read it. Assertion is saying classroom communication has a cultural dimension. Okay. And the reason is saying beliefs, habit, customs, and language are the cultural characteristics of communication. In this question, the right answer is option A. Classroom communication does has cultural dimension. Yes, this is right. And even the reason is right, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Listening, reading, speaking, and writing all are types of communication skills, emotional barriers, evaluative techniques, or non-verbal communication. The right answer is option A. A good communication skills involves all the aspects of communication, which is listening, reading, speaking, and writing. In communication, the language is non-verbal code, verbal code, intrapersonal code, or symbolic code. Students, as you all know that every language has a particular set of rules for the creation of the message or the sentence. So that rule is called a verbal code. So in communication, the language is the verbal code. B is the right answer. Which of the following are the characteristic features of communication? Communication involves exchange of ideas, facts, and opinion. Yes, it does. Communication involves both information and understanding. Yes, this is also true. Communication is a continuous process. Yes, it goes on and on. Like if you see this video, you reply in the comment section. Then I will reply to your comment. So the communication is a continuous process. It will go on continuously. Communication is a circular process. Like since there is a feedback, so there is a circular transfer of information between the sender and the receiver. So if all of these are the right answer, if you look at the options, A is the right answer. A, B, C, D is right. Next is the term grapevine is also known as. So in organizational communication, there is a different type of communication which is called grapevine. Um, it is not horizontal, nor downward, nor upward. It is a kind of information, informal communication which involves rumors or your gossips. Okay, so it may not be true, but still this type of communication it definitely exists in an organization. Internal and external factors that affect message reception by the students in the classroom are referred as. So there are internal factors like there are some students causing disturbance, or if the student is not well. External factors could be loud music from outside the class. So all these things that affect message reception is called as noise. Noise is any kind of disturbance that comes inside a classroom or in the communication process. Arriving ahead of time for a meeting is an example of. So sometimes if your meeting is at 10 a.m., okay, 10 in the morning, and you reach the office at 10:50 for the interview. So the person who is going to take the interview, he will get a message that you are a punctual person and you are proactive and you are eager for this job. So even that timing of your interview, if you come early, that is also a type of non-verbal communication. Even if you are not saying anything, but still you are communicating something by the time you are coming. So this comes under chronemics. Okay, this is a type of non-verbal communication. That is why C is the answer to this question. Students, on the right hand side, I have written the year in which the questions was asked. So this question was asked in June 2010, and the question is, which number is usually followed in a typical 32-bit computer? So 32-bit means it actually defines the processor. Okay, we have a 32-bit and 64-bit. 32-bit is a little slower and old. The newer is 64-bit. Now the question is asking which number system. We know there are so many number systems like decimal, binary, hexadecimal, or octal. So 32-bit computer uses binary number system where the digits that are used as zeros and ones. Okay, is the answer to this question. Next is, which one of the following is an example of operating system? So students, operating system is a kind of a system software which provides a platform on which application softwares run. Okay, so if you look at the options, Microsoft Word is an application software, so this is not the right answer. Microsoft Excel is also an application software, and Microsoft Access is also not an operating system, while Windows is a very famous operating system. Okay, so D is the answer to this question. Which one of the following represent the binary equivalent to decimal number? So as I told you that we have different types of number system. Now there is a number given in this question which is 23. This is a decimal number and we have to convert it into binary. So there are certain rules to be followed in this question. What you have to do is just write 23 over here, students, and keep on dividing it by 2 and write the remainder over here. Okay, so if you divide 2 by 23, the quotient will be 11 and the remainder will be 1. Okay, again you divide 2 by 11 by 2, you get 5 and the remainder will be 1. Again we'll divide 5 by 2, you will get 2 and remainder will be 1. And 2 divided by 2 is 1 and the remainder is 0. And whenever you are writing this converting decimal to binary, when you're following this step, always write the answer from bottom to top. Okay, it will go like this. So the answer will be 10111. Okay, that is why the right answer to this question is option B. Next question. Which one of the following is different from other members? Okay, so this is a question of odd one out. Four options are given to you and you have to tell which is different as compared to the other three. Google, Windows, Linux, and Mac. So as you know, Google is it is a search engine. Okay, it's a search engine. And if you look at other options, Windows, Linux, and Mac, it is an example of operating system. So Windows is a Microsoft product, Linux and Mac is a product of Apple. Okay, so now you understood. The right answer is option A, because Google is a search engine while all the other three are an example of operating system. Next question is, where does a computer add and compare its data? So as you all know, computer can do a number of tasks. It can do mathematical calculations as well. Uh, Now the question is asking, where does this uh, addition and comparison of data is done? Is it done in CPU, memory, or is it done in hard disk or floppy disk? So students, this comparison and addition of data is done in the CPU. CPU has ALU that does all the arithmetic operation and LU that does all the logical operations. So these are the components of CPU. Okay, is the answer to this question. Next is, computers on internet are identified by email address, street address, IP address, or none of the above. So as you all know, the internet is a connection of a large number of computers. So how do you distinguish one computer to the other? It is distinguished by IP address. Uh, the right answer is option C, because IP address means Internet Protocol address. It tells you uh, uh, it is a unique number that is assigned to every computer so that it can be distinguished from other computers. The right answer is option C. Which one of the following is not an internet service provider? Internet service provider, students, are those companies that give you services of internet. The question is asking which is not an ISP. So if you look at the options, option A is MTNL. It stands for Mahanagar Telephone Nigam Limited. So this is an ISP. So this is not the right answer. BSNL is Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. So this is also not the right answer. ERNet is Educational Research Network, while option D, Infotech India Limited. So it is an private company. It is an MNC which provides softwares and BPO services. So this is not an ISP. Okay, this is an MNC, multinational company. So D is the answer to this question. The hexadecimal number system consists of the symbols. So students, hexadecimal number system is described as a 16-digit number representation of numbers from 0 to 9 and then A to F. So in total it has 16 digits. Okay, these total comprises of your 10 and these A to F are 6. So there are total of 16 digits, which makes the answer option B correct, 0 to 9 and A to F. Okay. Next question is 1 GB is equals to. So first of all, in this question, you should know the full form of GB. GB is known as gigabyte and it consists of 1 billion characters. Okay, this is also important. You should remember this for from exam point of view. Okay, now the question is saying that 1 GB is equals to how many bits or bytes, that you have to tell. So first of all, you should know that 1 GB has 2 to the power of 10 MB, okay, megabyte. Now I'll convert this megabyte into kilobyte. So 2 to the power of 10 into 2 to the power of 10 kilobyte, okay. Again 2 to the power of 10 into 2 to the power of 10. This KB I will write it as 2 to the power of 10 bytes, okay. Now if I convert this byte into bits, it will be 2 to the power of 10 into 2 to the power of 10. 3 times this will come and 2 to the power of 3. So this is bits. Okay. Bits. Now in mathematics, whenever the bases are same, the powers get added. Okay. So if I look at the bytes answer, it is 2 to the power of 30. Okay. And if I look at the bits answer, it is 2 to the power of 33. So in the options, the right answer becomes option B, 2 to the power of 30 bytes. Okay. You understood how I converted? First I wrote GB into MB and then I converted MB into KB, then kilobytes into bytes and bytes into bits. So this bits answer was not correct because it is 2 to the power of 33. While if you look at the options, here it is 30 and here it is 20. So both these are incorrect. It should be 2 to the power of 33. Only then it would be the right answer. Okay. Next is the set of computer programs that manages the hardware and software of a computer is called compiler, operating system, or none of these. So who does the task of managing hardware and software? It is an operating system. Don't confuse it with operation system. And the most famous example of operating system is your Windows and Linux, Unix, Mac. Okay, these are the famous operating system. SMIME in internet technology stands for. So they are asking you the full form of this term. Okay, SMIME. The right answer is option A, secure multi-purpose internet mail extension. So the task of this technology, students, it is to encrypt the emails. So as you all know, whenever something is transferred over the internet, there are chances that somebody might misuse your data. So if you say you want to send your emails securely, you can use this technology to encrypt your emails while they are getting transmitted on the internet. Okay. So the right answer is option A, secure multi-purpose internet mail extension. Remember this. So this is a June 2011 question. Okay. The octal number system consists of the following symbols. So if you remember, hexadecimal was 0 to 9 and then A to F. Now octal, you know what octal means. It means 8. Okay. So it should have 8 digits. The right answer to this question is 0 to 7. So the 0 to 7 symbols are used in the octal number system. While in decimal, if you talk about, it is 0 to 9. In binary, it is 0 and 1. And in octal, it is 0 to 7. Okay. Next is, which of the following statement is true? Smart card do not require an operating system. Smart card and PCs use some operating system. COS is a smart card operating system. The communication between reader and card is in full duplex mode. So the right answer to this question is option C. COS is smart card operating system. Actually, COS stands for China Operating System. It is a Linux kernel based mobile operating system. Okay, as you all know, like for laptops and computers we have different operating system. For mobiles you have this Android, and there is one COS as well, which was developed in China mainly. It was meant for mobile devices, tablets and set top boxes. Okay, COS, China Operating System is the answer. DNS in internet technology stands for dynamic name system, domain name system, distributed name system, or none of these. So first of all, you should know what is DNS. Students, DNS is like a phone book of the internet. Its task is to translate domain name to IP addresses. As you all know, we usually say Google. Okay, everybody says google.com, but definitely there is some IP address to Google, like 2.32.96 or 128. I'm just giving an example. So the IP address of this could be of Google could be this, but this number is very hard to pronounce. So instead of saying this number, we say Google. And DNS, what it does, it translates this word Google into this IP address and vice versa. Okay, so it has decreased our task of remembering IP address. Okay, so DNS is domain name system. HTML stands for. In this question, you should first know what is HTML. HTML is a language which is used to create web pages. As you all know, the internet is um, it is a place where we have numerous web pages, and a web page, a number of web pages combined to form websites. Okay, these web pages are made in some languages, and HTML is one of the oldest language. It stands for hypertext markup language. It is a code, complete code, through which we can make a proper web page, and also we can make a website as well, is the answer. Next is, which of the following is a type of LAN? LAN stands for local area network. It is used to connect computers which are close to each other, like in a building or in an educational institution. Okay, when we want to connect computers in a small area, we use LAN. Ethernet is a LAN, token ring, and FDDI. All these are an example of LAN. That is why the right answer is option D, all of the above. Next is, which of the following operating system is used on mobile phones? So in one of the previous questions I told you, for laptops and PCs we have different operating system, like Windows, Linux, Unix. But for mobiles we also have the operating system which is mostly used is Android. Android is a mobile operating system. Okay, and operating system is a system software. Okay, this you should know, right? Next question. High level programming languages can be converted into machine language using which of the following? High level languages, HLL, are those students which software engineers or developers use to make softwares. Okay, so these languages are pretty close to English language. The keywords are used in English, and as you all know, the computer understands only binary language or machine language. So this task of converting high level language to binary language is done by compiler. Compiler is the person who is the one who does it, and it converts high level language into binary language at once. Okay, there is one more thing called interpreter. Interpreter also does this task of converting languages into binary language, but it goes line by line. Okay, if the question says line by line or at once, remember when line by line comes, the answer will be interpreter, and at once if they are saying, then the answer will be compiler. Next is HTML is used to create machine language program, high level program, web page or web server. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language and it is used to create web pages. C is the answer to this question. The term DNS stands for, DNS is domain name system. It is used as a phone book for converting your domain names to IP addresses and vice versa. Okay, the right answer is option A. IPv4 and IPv6 are addresses used to identify computers on the internet. Find the correct statement of the out of the following. So IPv4 addresses is a 32-bit number, okay, that uniquely identify a network interface on a machine. While IPv6 students, it is a 128-bit, okay, 128-bit number that identifies a machine. Okay, so this is 32-bit and this is 128-bit. If you look at the options, option C says number of bits in IPv4 is less, IPv4 address is less. Yes, 32 is less than 128. That is why the right answer is option C. TCP/IP is necessary if one is to connect to the, so TCP/IP, it is a set of standard rules that allows computers to communicate on a network, okay, such as internet. So if you want to connect to the internet, we use TCP/IP, and the full form of TCP/IP is Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. Okay, C is the answer. Each character on the keyboard of computer has an ASCII value which stands for. So every uh, character like A, B, 1, 0, all these numbers or letters, they have a unique value which is called ASCII value. The question is asking the full form of ASCII. It stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. The right answer is option B. Which of the following is not a programming language? So programming language are used to write programs so that they can make a software out of the programs. So there are different languages used for coding. Now the question is asking which is not an programming language. Pascal is a programming language, students. Java, C++, all these are high level programming languages. While Microsoft Office, it is not a programming language, it is an application software. Okay, so the right answer is option B. Minimum number of bits required to store any 3-digit decimal number is equal to. So if there is a 3-digit decimal number like 231, 576, so the number of bits will be 8. C is the answer. Internet Explorer is a type of, so you might have seen this icon, the blue color icon on the computer. The question is asking in Internet Explorer is a type of, is it a type of operating system? No. Is it a compiler? Not at all. Is it an IP address? No. The right answer is option C. It is a browser, and browser is a software that allows you to connect to the internet. Next is POP and IMAP are email accounts in which the options are one automatically gets one's email every day. One has connected to the server to read or write one's email. One has to be connected to the server to send and receive email, or one does not need any telephone lines. So POP3 stands for Post Office Protocol and IMAP stands for Internet Message Access Protocol. So there is a difference between these two. POP or POP with this, your email are downloaded to your device and they are deleted from the server. While if you talk about IMAP, the emails they reside on the server and you can easily read and interact with the emails from multiple devices. Okay, so this is the difference between POP3 and IMAP. The right answer to this question is one has to be connected to the servers to send and receive email. Okay, the right answer is option C. ALU stands for. So ALU is a part of your CPU that does all the arithmetic calculations like your addition, subtraction, multiplication or division. Okay, and it stands for arithmetic logic unit. There is something called LU also, which is logical unit. It does the task of comparing numbers like which is greater than, less than, equals to or not equals to. Okay, both of these, they are inside the CPU. A personal computer uses a number of chips mounted on a circuit board called. So there is a circuit board on your system or on your computers where there are ROM and RAM are embedded into those onto that circuit. The name of the circuit is called a motherboard. This is the answer. Next is computer virus is a So computer viruses are the malware that does the task of harming the computers. Okay. The options are hardware, bacteria, software, or none of these. The right answer is option C. It is actually a software, but the main intention is to harm. That is why it is called a malware. The example of virus is called worm. What viruses does is they replicate itself. Okay, they make copies of itself and they can, delete various files, or they can make your computer slower. So viruses are very bad for your computers. The file extension for MS Word document in Office 2007 is, so you, as you all know, every file has a different extension. Like your TXT file is for plain text. It is a text file. Okay. PDF, it stands for portable document file. Doc and docs, these are word files. But if you look at the right answer for this question, the question is asking for Office 2007. The right answer is dot docs. But dot doc was also an file extension, but it was used for MS Word version earlier than 2007. Okay, but after 2007, dot docs is used. Before that, dot doc was used. Okay. So the file extension for MS Word document in Office 2007 is .docs. Dash is a protocol used by email clients to download emails to your computers. So the options are TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, File Transport Protocol, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, or POP, Post Office Protocol. The right answer is option D, POP. What it does is it um, with a POP, your emails can be downloaded to your device and they are deleted from the server. Okay, the right answer is D. WWW stands for. So this is a very important question. It has been asked many times. It stands for World Wide Web. It is a virtual network of different computers on the internet. A hard disk is divided into tracks, which is further divided into clusters, sectors, vector, or. So if you look at an image of hard disk, a hard disk is something like this, circular, and there are circular areas around it, and this is called a track. Okay, while if you talk about this area, this one is called a sector. A track is further subdivided into sectors. The right answer is option B. Next is a computer program that translates a program statement by statement into machine language is called a. In one of the previous questions also I told you, whenever the question says a computer program that translates a program into machine language, okay, a high level language into machine language, there are two options for you. You have to remember compiler or interpreter. Whenever this is statement by statement or line by line, the answer will be interpreter. And if they say all at once, the answer will be compiler. This is very important, students. Do remember this for the examination. Next is a gigabyte is equals to. Gigabyte means GB. When 1024 megabytes combine, 1 GB is formed. The right answer is option A. First comes, I will tell you again, first come bit, then come bytes, then kilobytes, then megabytes, then your gigabytes, then terabytes and so on. Okay. A compiler is a software which converts. So we have seen this multiple times. So now you can understand whenever a term is coming again and again, it makes it very obvious that this topic is very important. You should know about compilers. Now the question is saying what a compiler does. It converts characters to bits? No. Machine language to high level language? No. Words to bits? No. It converts a high level language to machine language. The right answer is option B. Next is virtual memory is an extremely large memory, an extremely large secondary memory, an illusion of extremely large main memory, or a type of memory used in supercomputers. So virtual memory is an illusion of extremely large main memory. Main memory is like your RAM. What happens in virtual memory? A space in the hard disk. Okay, one space is created and it is defined as virtual memory. It increases the overall speed of your computers. So it is an illusion of a greater RAM. Next is, which of the following is a social network? So social networking websites are those in which people they talk to each other, they do discussions, they chat and share pictures. So the question is asking which is a social network. If we look at the options, Amazon, it is not a social network, it is a commercial website, e-commerce website. eBay is also an e-commerce website. Gmail is an email service, while Twitter is a very famous social network. Okay, these are the answer. Internal communication within institutions is done through LAN, WAN, EBB, or MMS. The right answer here is option A, LAN. LAN stands for local area network. Whenever we want to connect computers in a building or within short range, we use local area network. The initial efforts for internet based communication was for, so as you all know, whenever something starts, it starts for a particular purpose and then it might change as well. So the initial effort for internet based communication was for military purposes. It started in the US. The internet was started in the US but for military purposes. Okay. Virtual reality provides sharp pictures in individual audio, participatory experience, or preview of new films. So many times, if you might have gone to the mosque, you might have seen there is a person who gives you something to put on your eyes, and they might show you some pictures or some video where they show you like on mountains, so you feel that actually you are on the mountains. So it is an example of virtual reality, and it gives you participatory experience, means you think that you actually think that you are on the mountain, but although you are simply in a mall. So C is the answer. When a computer is booting, BIOS is loaded to the memory by. So BIOS is basic input output system, and it is the program which is embedded inside the ROM by the manufacturer. So the right answer is option B, read only memory. Which one of the following is not the same as the other three? So this question was asked previously as well. MAC address, hardware address, physical address. These are used for local identification of your computer, while IP address is used for global identification. So option D is the odd one out. Next is identify the IP address from the following. So IP address means Internet Protocol address. It uniquely defines your computers all around the world. So there is a specific format for IP address. If you look at the options, the IP address is always, it always has three dots. So here hyphen is there, so this is incorrect. Again, in this option also hyphen is there, and again in this option also hyphen is there. So the right answer here is option C, 202.50.20.148. Next, the acronym FTP stands for. So FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. It is used for transferring files on the internet. Which one of the following is not an image graphic file format? So there are four options given to you, and three of them are file format, while the there is one which is not. So if you look at the option PNG, it is a image file format. Okay, so this is not the right answer. GIF is graphics interchangeable format. This is also a image or a graphics format. BMP is bitmap image, while GUI is not an image graphic file format. GUI means whenever we are using like icons or mouse clicks for accessing the computer, it is called graphical user interface. The first web browser is Internet Explorer, Netscape Navigator, World Wide Web, or Firefox. So Internet Explorer is a Microsoft web browser, Netscape Navigator, and for Firefox is a Mozilla product, while World Wide Web was the first web browser ever. Next is CSS stands for. So CSS is a kind of a language which is used in creating web pages. Its main task is to you know make beautify your web pages. To make your web pages beautiful, we use CSS, and the full form of CSS is cascading style sheets. Is the answer. MOOC stands for. So MOOC is a platform where you can take different courses, and it comes under Swayam. So MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course. Students can take part in the courses which are for freely available on the internet. Next is the binary equivalent of decimal number 35 is. So if you convert decimal number 35 to binary, I already told you, you have to divide it by 2 and write the remainder over here. So if you divide 2 by 35, you will get 17, and the remainder will be 1. Again, 2 8s are 16, the remainder is 1. 2 4s are 8, remainder is 0. Again, 2 2s are 4, remainder is 0. Again, 2 1s are 2, and the remainder is 0. So always write the answer from bottom to up. The right answer will be 1 triple 0 double 1. Okay, which makes option B as the right answer. Okay, option A as the right answer. Next, .gif, .jpg, .png are used as file extension for files which store. So GIF is graphics interchangeable format, JPG is joint picture expert group, BMP is bitmap, and PNG is portable graphics format. All these are extensions which store image data. Okay, this is the answer. Symbols A to F are used in which number system? So binary number system, it uses zeros and ones. Decimals uses 0 to 9. Octal uses 0 to 7. While hexadecimal uses 0 to 9 and A to F. Okay. It has total of 16 numerals. That is why the right answer is option C, hexadecimal. It uses symbols A to F. Next. Which one of the following is not a search engine? So search engine are special kind of websites on which you can search for information on a web browser. So if you look at the options, Google is a search engine. Yes. Yahoo is also a search engine, while Bing is also a search engine. Chrome is not a search engine. It is a web browser. Okay, and a web browser is your application software. The right answer is option B. Which of the following is not an output device? So output devices are those which gets the results from the computer. If you look at the option, printer is an output device, speaker is also an output device, Monitor is also an output device, while your keyboard, it is an example of input device because we use a keyboard to give instructions to the computer. Which of the following is not an open source operating system? Open source operating systems are those whose source code is freely available to everyone so that they can make changes to it. Okay, so if you look at the options, Fedora Linux, OpenOffice, Apache HTTP server, these are open source software, while Internet Explorer is a closed source software. Next is, which one of the following represent the binary equivalent of the decimal number 25? Again, a decimal to binary conversion, let's do it. 2 12s are remainder 1, 2 6 are remainder 0, 2 3s are remainder 0, 2 1s are 2, and remainder is your 1. The right answer is bottom 2 up you have to go, 11001. The right answer is option C. Which is an instant messenger that is used for chatting? Alta Vista, Mac, Microsoft Office, or Google Talk? So Google Talk is an example of instant messenger. The other famous messenger that everybody use these days is WhatsApp, which is now owned by Facebook. NMEICT stands for. So NMEICT is an initiative of MHRD, which is now called Ministry of Education. So its main task was to provide education to uh, all the places around India where physically education, imparting education was difficult. So the full form of NMEICT is National Mission of on Education through ICT. Is the right answer. Which of the following is an instant messaging application? WhatsApp is an instant messaging application. Google Talk and Viber. All these are an example of instant messaging application. Right answer is option B, A, B and C. Next is, in a computer, a byte generally consists of. So 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Okay. And 1 nibble is equals to 4 bits. Okay, so the right answer to this question is option B, 8 bits. Which of the following is not an input device? Okay, if you look at the option microphone, we give sound as an input, so it is an input device. Keyboard is also an input device. Joystick also, you play games, so it is an input device. While monitor, it is an example of output device. Okay, the right answer is option D. Which of the following is an open source software? So open source softwares are those whose source code is freely available. If you look at the options, MS Word, Windows and Acrobat Reader, all these are closed source software, while Mozilla Firefox, this is the only one which is a open source software. Which of the following enables us to send the same letter to different persons in MS Word? Mail join, mail copy, mail insert or mail merge. The right answer to this is option D, mail merge. The study, design, development, implementation, support or management of computer based information systems, particularly software applications and computer hardware refers to. So this question was asked in July 2016 and the options for these questions are information technology, information and collaborative technology, information and data technology or artificial intelligence. The right answer to this question is option A, information and information technology. As you all know, IT is a very prominent industry, one of the most prominent industries in India and across the globe. So here what they do is they provide you services and software applications, and there are so many famous IT companies like in India. If we talk about, we have Wipro, we have TCS, Infosys and numerous others. Okay, Right answer is option A. The binary equivalent of the decimal number 48 is 110000. Then the binary equivalent of the decimal number 51 is. So if you have watched my previous video, you might have seen there are numerous questions from a binary to decimal conversion. Okay, so here a decimal number is given to you which is 51 and you have to convert into binary. So you should know this method. What you have to do is just write this number and keep on dividing it by 2 and put the remainder, write the remainder over here. So if we divide 51 by 2, you get 25 and the remainder is 1. If we divide 25 by 2, you get answer as quotient as 2 and remainder as 1. Again, if you divide 2 by 12, you get 6 and the remainder is 0. If you divide 2 by 6, the quotient is 3 and the remainder is 0. If you divide 2 by 3, the quotient is 1 and the remainder is also 1. So the right answer is, always write your answer from top to bottom. Okay, so it will be double 1, double 0, double 1. The right answer is option A. Okay, next is the process of copying files to a CD-ROM is known as. So there was a time, you remember, when before, now we usually use like pen drives, but a few years ago CD-ROM were used most often. So what used to bring, you used to go and get blank CDs from the shop, and then if you want to put some data into it, so there was a process of copying these files from your computer to the CD-ROM. That process is known as burning. Okay, because we used to say burn the CD. The process of copying the files to CD-ROM was burning. Okay, zipping means compressing a file. Digitizing means like if you scan a paper, a hard paper into a scanner, that digital image or scanned image is called, that process is called digitization. Okay, next is an unsolicited email message sent to many recipients at once is a. So you might have seen in your mailbox you receive so many unwanted emails. That email is called a spam. Okay, spam means like for advertising, you might have seen many companies, they send you unwanted, unsolicited means unwanted emails for advertisement purposes. It is called spam. Next is dash is a type of memory circuitry that holds computers startup routine. So in this question has been asked many times. The startup routine, all that information regarding startup is stored in a row, a program called BIOS, basic input output system. It tells the computer how the computer has to be started. So it is done by the manufacturer. All that information is stored in the ROM. ROM means read only memory. Okay, you cannot change ROM because it is done by the, it is written by the manufacturer. Okay, an ASCII is a character encoding scheme that is employed by the personal computers in order to represent various characters, numbers, and control keys that the computer selects on the keyboard. ASCII is an acronym for. So here they have given you, or they are telling you the meaning of ASCII, which is like all the keys, like all the numbers or characters like A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. All these have a particular ASCII value. The question is asking what is the full form of ASCII. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. The right answer is option A. This question has been asked previously also in UGC Net Paper 1. So this question was asked in July. Before July 2016 also it was asked. Next is read the following two statements. Information and communication technology is a subset of IT. So this statement is wrong, students, because IT is a subset of ICT. Okay, this is ICT, the big circle is ICT and the smaller one is IT. So ICT is not the subset, ICT is actually the superset of ICT. So this is wrong. The right to use a piece of software is termed as copyright. This statement is also incorrect. It is called license. Okay. The right answer to this question is neither one nor two are correct. Both are false. Next is, which of the following correctly lists computer memory types from highest to lowest speed? So this arrangement kind of questions means arranging uh, according to speed or memory are asked in UGC Net many times. So you should know all these kind of questions. Now the question is asking you, we have to arrange the computer memory types according to speed. So whenever we are talking about speed and if registers are given in the options, students always remember that CPU register has the highest speed. So here this two options will be cancelled out, okay, because here they are saying secondary storage and here they are saying cache memory. So registers are higher speed, then registers come, then cache memory comes, then comes main memory, and then comes secondary storage. Secondary storage means like your CDs or DVDs. So these are very slower as compared to the others. So the right answer to this question is CPU registers, cache memory, main memory, and secondary storage. The right answer is option C. Which of the following statements is or are true? Statement 1 is saying decimal number 11 is larger than hexadecimal number 11. Statement 2 is saying in the binary number 1110.101, the fraction part has the decimal value of 0.625. So here, if you look at both the statements, statement 2 is only true and statement 1 is false. Okay. So the right answer to this question is option B. If we look at the solution over here, when we convert hexadecimal number 11 into binary, the answer will be 17. So here they are saying hexadecimal number is larger. No, this is not larger. Decimal number is larger, but that is not true. Hexadecimal number is larger because its value is 17 in decimal. Okay. And when we convert this fraction part 0.101, so here we get 0.625. So this is true while this statement is false. That is why B is the answer to this question. With regard to a word processing software, the process of combining static information in a publication together with variable information in a data source to create one merged publication, it is called a mail merge. So sometimes you might have seen like there is some emails that has to be signed, okay. So what happens is there is a software which combines static information, static, like if there is an email like dear candidate, your score for the examination is, so if a email has to be gone to like 1,000 people, the first two lines will be the same, right, for all the students, like dear candidate, the score for this examination is this line will be static information combined with variable information. Variable information means for student A the score is 50, the for student B the score is 60, and for student C the score is 75. So for each email, once it will go 50, then 60, then 75. So this technology of combining static information with variable information to create one merged publication is called mail merge. The right answer is option C. DVD technology uses an optical media to store digital data. DVD is an acronym for, it stands for Digital Versatile Disk. Next is, which of the following domains is used for profit organizations? The right answer here is .com. .com is usually for commercial purposes. .edu is for educational purposes. Then .org is organization and .net is for network. The data storage hierarchy consists of. So this question is also very common. The right answer here is bits, bytes, fields. Fields become like if we talk about a student table, the name, the roll number, the class, the section, all these are the different fields. When they combine, They form a particular field, and these fields combine to form a record, and records form files, and combinations of various files will form a database. The right answer is option A. What is the full form of USB as used in computer related activities? So USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. Okay, B is the answer. Acronyms are very important for exam perspective. Next is, what is the name of a web page address? So students, as you all know, everybody has an address, like you and me. Everyone who is watching, they have a residential address. The same way, every page on the internet also has a particular address which is called a URL. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator, which is used to identify a page on the internet. Which of the following represents 1 billion characters? So a gigabyte represents 1 billion characters, while 1 terabyte represents 1 trillion characters. Okay. The right answer here is option C. Which of the following statements are true regarding the term ICT? So statement P is saying ICT is an acronym that stands for Indian Classical Technology. So this is absolutely wrong. ICT means Information and Communication Technology. Statement Q is saying converging technologies that exemplify ICT include the merging of audio, visual, telephone, computer network through a common cabling system. So statement Q is true. The right answer to this question is option B. A new laptop has been introduced that weighs less, is smaller, and uses less power than previous laptops or previous laptop models. Which of the following technologies has been used to accomplish this? So this task of making the laptops lighter and smaller and using less power is done by the technology which is called SSD, solid state drive. D is the answer. Given the following email fields, which of the email addresses will Swami be able to see when he receives the message? So Swami is the person who is in the BCC field. He will be able to see Ram, Raj and Ravi. The right answer is option B, because a person who is in BCC can see who is in 2 and CC, but the person who is in 2 or in CC, they cannot see a person who is in BCC. Okay. So here CC stands for carbon copy and BCC stands for blind carbon copy. Put the following units of storage into correct order, starting with the smallest unit first and going to the largest unit: kilobyte, byte, megabyte, terabyte, gigabyte, and bit. So this question is very simple. We will start with bit. You know, bit is the smallest unit of memory. So it will start with F, then will come byte, then will come kilobyte. Okay, A will come. Then megabyte. Okay, C will come. Gigabyte and terabyte. So C is the answer to this question. Next is, with regard to computer memory, which of the following statements is or are true? Statement P is saying read-only memory, ROM, is volatile memory. It is non-volatile memory. So this statement is wrong. RAM is a volatile memory. Yes, this statement is true. Whatever is stored in a RAM, whenever power goes off, it disappears. Secondary memory is a volatile memory. So secondary memory is also not a volatile memory. It is a non-volatile memory. So here only Q is correct. Next is, which of the following process is the main task for computer in mapping the geographical data? Data storage, visualization, retrieving or drawing data collection. The right answer is option C, data retrieving and drawing. C is the answer. In computer terminology, which of the following describe device driver? The right answer to this question is software that allows interaction between peripheral devices and operating system. So sometimes when you want to connect to the routers, you need to have those drivers. So drivers are that allows interaction. They give permission between peripheral devices. Peripheral devices are like your printers, routers, and operating system. Which of the following is not true about RAM? RAM is a temporary storage, so this is true. RAM is the same as the hard disk storage, so this is false. RAM is volatile, yes, this is true. Information stored in RAM is gone when you turn the computer off. So whenever computer is turned off, the information vanishes. So here they are saying which is not true. So not true is option B. Most World Wide Web pages contain commands in languages. So World Wide Web pages or the web page, they are coded in HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. C is the answer. Which of the following would not be considered as a form of secondary storage? So secondary storage, if you look at the options, floppy disk is a secondary storage. Okay. Optical disk is also secondary storage. Optical disk means your CDs and your DVDs. These are optical storage. Flash drive means pen drive. It is also an example of secondary storage. While RAM is an example of main memory. It is not a secondary memory or secondary storage. What does the acronym WAN stands for? WAN stands for Wide Area Network. Whenever we want to connect computers to a very large area, means like the whole country or across the globe, we use WAN. So internet is an example of WAN, Wide Area Network. FTP is an acronym for File Transfer Protocol, which is used for transferring file over the internet. Bluetooth is a type of radio wave information transmission system that is good for about 30 feet. So if you want to share files and data between systems that are close by, we use Bluetooth because it is a short range device. The distance should be nearly 30 feet or less. Select true statements about an operating system. An OS controls peripherals, allocates memory, organizes data into fields and records. So this is not right. OS provides protection against the virus. No, it does not. Antivirus does that. OS controls peripherals, allocates memory and processor time. Yes, this seems to be correct. Let's read the option D. An OS controls processor and peripheral devices and allows the users to connect to the internet. So this part is done by the browser. So this option is also wrong. The right one is option C. Next. Which of the following is a type of malware intentionally inserted into a software that will set off a malicious function when specific conditions are met? So the right answer to this is option B, logic bomb. See, I'll give you a very nice example. Uh, if a person is being hired by any company, so if they want to take revenge, what they will do is, like, if the last day of their office is 1st of December, so what they will do is they will write a code which will start on 2nd of December, because until that time they will be gone from the company, and when the clock strikes 12 midnight, some code would run, and the code might do anything like delete a file or crash the system. So that is the task of logic bomb. What logic bomb does, it is a malware that is inserted in a software that will set off a malicious function. Malicious means which has a bad intention when specific conditions are met. What are specific conditions here? Like it could be date, it could be time, or any other thing. Which of the following statements are true in respect of wireless technology? Statement E say Bluetooth is a wireless technology that is used to connect a headset to a mobile phone. Yes, this statement is true. Bluetooth is a long range wireless device. No, not at all. Because Bluetooth is a short range wireless technology. So this statement is false. That means only option A is correct. Next is which of the file format is not a video file format? So if you look at the options, AVI is audio video interchange, MOV, MP4, all these are video file format, while JPG is an example of image file format. The right answer is option D. Next is SMTP is an acronym for. SMTP has the full form Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. The right answer is option C. Next is a computer has a main memory of 960 kilobytes. What is the exact number of bytes contained into this memory? So 960 is KB is the memory. If we want to convert into bytes, bytes means 1 KB has 2 to the power of 10 bytes. Okay, but 2 to the power of 10 means 1024. So 960 into 1024 bytes. The right answer is option C. The option, yeah, C is the right answer. The convenient place to store contact information for quick retrieval in an email is called address book. The right answer is option C. Why would BCC be used in an email? So the right answer to this question is BCC allows the sender for message to conceal the recipient entered in the BCC. So if you don't want to tell the to and CC people that you have added some other person, so what you will do it, you will put it into BCC. BCC stands for blind carbon copy. Right answer is option C. Jane's laptop has an LCD screen. The acronym LCD stands for Liquid Crystal Display. The right answer is option D. And if the question asks about LED, LED stands for Light Emitting Diode. Next, which of the following is an example of proprietary system? Linux, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Office, or Microsoft Windows? So a proprietary software is also known as a non-free software or closed software. So what happens is uh, it is a software in which software's publisher reserves some rights from license to use, modify, and share modifications. Okay, the right answer to this question is option D, Microsoft Windows. With respect to computers, which one of the following best describes phishing? So in phishing, what happens is a person they pose themselves as a trusted entity to get sensitive informations for malicious reasons. So sometimes what a person can do, they can send you that email from HDFC Bank. They might say that we want your PIN because it is getting expired. Something they would like, they would want from you. So if you give them that information, what they will do, they will misuse it and they might take out money from your account. So this process of posing yourself as a trusted entity, but the reasons or the intentions are bad. So this is called phishing. Next is a computer network which is used within a building is called LAN, local area network. WAN stands for wide area network. MAN stands for metropolitan area network, and SAN stands for it stands for storage area network. Okay, the right answer is option C. A dash is a computer program that spreads by inserting copies of itself into other executable code or document is called a computer virus. So virus, what it does, it makes copies of itself, and it is a malware because it has bad intentions of causing harm to your computer. Right answer is option B. Which of the following is not a web browser? So a web browser is a kind of application software which helps you to browse the internet. Internet Explorer is a web browser. Mozilla Firefox, Chrome, all these three are web browsers, while Yahoo is a search engine. So the right answer is option D. It is not a web browser. Next is 1 terabyte is equals to how many kilobytes or bytes? So 1 terabyte we can write it as 1024 GB. Then GB we can write it as 1024 into 1024 MB. MB we could write it as 1024 same, and 1024 kilobytes. Okay, so if you look at the options, the right answer is option C, 1024 into 1024 into 1024 kilobytes. Next, which of the following is a major issue arising out of growing reliance on information technology? Profitability, security threats, privacy concerns. See, profitability means IT has given you a lot of profits through the various softwares and the services it provides. There is security also, like there are hackers or crackers which might steal your information, personal information, and there is privacy. So somebody can misuse your images or your photos through Facebook, okay, and then they can blackmail you as well. So all these three are some of the issues which are arising out of IT. Okay, this is the answer. Match list 1 to list 2 in the context of computer networking. So VoIP, it is used to make phone calls. A will be connected to 2. Fiber optics is used makes use of light pulses. So fiber optic means light. So to B will be connected to 1. URL is a text used by web browser to locate a web address. URL is Uniform Resource Locator, and UTP cable is used to connect computers in a small building. So the right answer becomes 2, 1, 4 and 3. 2, 1, 4, 3. The right answer is option B. Select the options that include file formats for distributing sound files across the internet. So if we talk about audio files or sound files, we use MIDI, WAV, WME and MP3. Next, which of the following statements is or are true? Software is loaded into secondary storage from RAM and is then executed by the CPU. So this is not right. Software is loaded into RAM. Okay, it is not loaded into secondary storage, so this statement is wrong. While option B is saying a search engine is a software system that is designed to search for information on the world wide web. Yes, the prominent example of search engines are Yahoo, Bing, and our favorite Google. So only option B is correct. Right answer is B. Next is RAM is placed on, so motherboard is a circuit which holds the various chips in a computer. So RAM is placed on a motherboard. Motherboard is the main circuitry of a computer. Given below are two statements. Cache memory is faster than random access memory. Yes, this is true. While statement 2 is saying random access memory is closest to the processor than cache. So this statement is false. RAM is not closer, cache memory is closer. So the right answer is option C. Both one means one is correct and two is false. Which of the following is not a web browser? Again, this kind of question has been asked many times. So Firefox is a web browser, Chrome and Safari is a web browser, while Facebook is a social networking website. The right answer is option B. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. It defines the address of any web page on the internet. So here are two statements. Statement 1 is saying the use of ICT in organizing teaching learning programs in university has potential to optimize learning outcomes. Yes, this is true. Formative assessment provides support to enhancing the quality of teaching learning sessions. This is also true. So here this is a mix of ICT and teaching aptitude question. The right answer is both the statements are true. Okay. Formative assessment is when it assessment which is done throughout the course of teaching. Okay, and summative is done at the end of the course. Using websites to pour out one's grievances is called. So one grievances is whatever bad feeling that a person has in his mind or heart. So if you want to pour it out or tell it to someone on website, what it is called: web plea, web hate, cyber ranting, or cyber venting. The right answer is option D, cyber venting. Vent, you might have seen on a volcano, the top part is called a vent. So from vent what happens is all the hot fumes or lava comes out. The same way what happens is whenever the employee has a very bad feeling for the employer, what they do is they go on the website and they write about their seniors, officials, or employers, so that they just want to get that steam out of their mind, all that hate or all that negativity. So this process is called cyber venting. Today the right consider the following storage devices: hard disk, CD-ROM, DVD, or floppy disk. Now you have to arrange these in ascending order. Ascending means from small to bigger. Okay, the one which has lowest storage capacity to the high storage capacity. So if we look at these options, the least will be floppy disk. You know, these are very old ones, so it would be D, starting with D. Then it would be CD-ROM, yes, B. And then comes DVD, digital versatile disk. Okay, and the highest storage is hard disk. So the right answer is DBCA. Option A is the right answer. Now, this question is saying, given below are two statements. So there are two statements. You have to tell if one is correct or the other is correct, or if both are true or both are false. Let's read the statement. Statement 1 is saying that internet is a private network inside a company or an educational organization. So this is absolutely wrong. We all know that internet is used all around the world. It connects computers to all the computers around the globe. Okay, so this definition is more apt for intranet. So intranet is used within an organization. While statement 2, it says HTML is an incomplete code package that allows the users to create web pages. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language, but it is not incomplete. Okay, it is a complete code package because although the websites created from HTML is basic, but it can still create web pages. Okay, complete website can be created. So even this statement is wrong, which makes option B right, that both of the statements are false or incorrect. Which of the following statement is or correct? Software is loaded into secondary storage. Secondary storage means like your CDs or DVDs. So this statement is absolutely wrong. Software is not loaded into secondary storage from RAM and is then executed by a CPU. No, it is loaded into RAM, which is read random access memory. Okay. Second statement is saying a search engine is a software that is designed to search for information on the World Wide Web. This is absolutely right because we know there are so many famous search engines like your Google or your Yahoo or Bing. All these help you to search for any kind of information or data that you want on the internet. Okay, so only option B is right. Next is identify the correct matching pairs. TXT is text file. Okay, MP3, so if I look at this, this is right. MP3 is audio video. Yes, this is also true. XLS is PowerPoint presentation. No. XLS is your spreadsheet. Okay. It is related to spreadsheets. And AVI is audio video interface. So it is not used for statistical information. It is also a audio and video file format. So only 1 and 2 is correct. Next is put the following units of storage in the correct order starting from the smallest unit going to the largest. Okay, so they're asking you to arrange the storage unit into ascending order. So as we all know, the basic storage unit is bit. Okay, so bit, then 8 bits combine and form a byte. Then a byte makes 1000 bytes makes a kilobyte, so it is 6 to 1. Then after kilobyte, students, it comes megabyte. Okay, 3 will come. Then will come gigabyte, 5. And then will come 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 6. So if you look at options, the right answer is option C. Okay, 6 to 1, 3, 5, 4. So your basic is 1 bit, and then it goes on from bit to byte and then kilobyte, megabyte. And also remember, one nibble is called, it is 4 bits. Okay, you can also call it as half a byte. Okay, next. A new laptop has produced that weighs less. Okay, there is a new technology that has come up, and because of which laptops are lighter now. Okay, they're smaller, they are lighter than the previous versions that were produced. So now the question is asking, which of these following technologies is used to make the laptops lighter and smaller? Universal serial bus? No, this is not right. Neither random access memory, neither Blu-ray drive, but SSD. SSD is the new technology that has come up, which has made laptops lighter and faster. NMEICT stands for. So this NMEICT, this is very important in so many of the examinations. This is being asked. So, if you look at the options, the right one is option A, National Mission on Education through ICT. So, this was a initiative by MHRD then, which is now called Ministry of Education. So, there are numerous initiatives or projects that come under this NMEICT. You have e-Antra, and you have this National Digital Library, Swayam and Swayam Prabha. All these come under NMEICT. Okay, so it helps to expand higher education in ICT. Next is scrambling of data before transmission over a network to avoid manipulation by third parties known as. So, whenever you want to send your data over the network, you don't want that others to read your text. So, that text is converted into cipher text. Okay, this is called cipher text, which does not allow others to read it. So, this, changing your original text into other form is known as encryption. It helps in data security. Okay. Next is, which one of the following allows a phone call to be routed over network wires? So this is the right answer is option D, voice over internet protocol. So this has allowed to make a phone call over network. Next is, which of the following correctly lists type of computer memory from highest to lowest? So if you look at the options, secondary storage, RAM, cache memory, and CPU registers. So since they are asking from highest, the whenever such type of questions come, students always remember the CPU registers will have higher speed. Then will come your cache memory. Okay. So because of cache also, this computer has become faster. Then comes your RAM, and the secondary storage is the has the lowest speed. So the right answer is option C, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. RAM is used as short memory as it is it expensive, small capacity, programmable, or volatile? So RAM is used as short because short means for a very small duration. Because it is volatile, whatever is stored inside the RAM, whenever the computer switches off, everything gets disappeared or vanishes. Okay. Line access and avoidance of collisions are main functions of. So you all know that if you want to send something from one computer to other, your data is it is broken into different parts. Okay, which is called packets. So how these packets will be sent over the network, and it breaks, this data is broken into small packets and they are sent through different routes. Okay, they don't go at once. So this line acts as how the data will be sent, and avoidance of collision, so that no packets, they don't collide, or they don't hit each other. That is taken care by network protocol. So we have numerous network protocol like TCP, IP, UDP. All these are protocols that take care of all these tasks: line access and avoidance of collision. Which is not a web browser? So students, as you all know, web browser are those kind of application software that helps you to access the internet. So if you look at the options, we all know internet is a very famous web browser. Okay, so this is not right. Netscape Navigator also. Firefox is also a web browser, so this is not correct. While option C is correct, Facebook is a social networking website. Okay, it is not a web browser. That is why C is the answer. Which one of the following is not the same as the other three? MAC address, hardware address, physical address, or IP address. So your MAC address, physical address, and hardware address, these are used for local identification of any computer on the LAN, while your IP address is used for global identification of your system over the network. Okay, which is on the internet. So odd one out is option D, IP address. In computer networking, HTTP is a stateless protocol as servers do not many information about past clients. HTTP is acronym for. So students in UGC NET examinations, always remember to prepare acronym, because you can expect one acronym from ICT unit. At least the basic ones you should know. So HTTP is a basic one, and its full form is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So it helps in the communication between your web server and client. Okay, client is like if you are searching something on the internet, so you are the client, and the servers, who the one who is giving you the information, it is called server. So that communication is done by hypertext transfer protocol. Okay. Dot temp is a transit file, transactional file, temporary file, or transfer file. So dot temp, it stands for temporary files. Option C is the right answer. So it is used when a file is being created or modified, and many times it is also used to recover data. Okay, so that is the task of a temp file. You can also delete the temp files. Next is dash. The dash is a basic unit of information in computing and digital communication. So this question is very simple. The right answer is option D. Bit is the basic unit. In one of the previous questions also I told you that bit is the basic or the smallest unit of information. Then comes bit, then nibble, then byte, then kilobyte, and megabyte, and so on. Okay. Next is which of the following statement is not correct? uh, Option A is computer is capable of processing only digital signals. So this is not right. A computer can process both digital and analog signals. There is something called hybrid computers. So that can also process analog signals as well. So that means this option is incorrect, right? Let me also read you the other options. Appropriate software is used for processing of data. Yes, this is correct. Computer is capable of processing digital and analog signals. Yes, as I told you, hybrid ones. Computer is capable of analyzing both qualitative and quantitative data. Yes, there are different softwares that can analyze this. So A is the right answer. Which of the following statement is correct? Again, you have to tell which is the right option. Virus is an operating system. No, it is not an operating system. Virus does not allow, internet does not allow the virus to spread. This is absolutely wrong. There is a type of virus called worm. It can easily transmit from the computer to the network. Option D says virus improves the speed of processing information. No, absolutely not. Virus makes a computer slow. It does not make a computer fast. That is why A is the right answer. Virus is a part of software and its task is to replicate. Okay, it multiplies itself, and what it does is it harms your computer. It can delete file, it can make your computer slow, many problems it can create. Which of the following is correct? Modem is a software. Okay, this is not right. Modem is not a software. Modem is an OS operating system. No, it is not an operating system. Modem helps to stabilizing. It helps in stabilizing the voltage. No, this is also not right. Modem converts analog signal to into digital and vice versa. Yes, this is absolutely right. Modem, it is the short form of modulation and demodulation. Both of these words have combined to form modem, and this conversion from analog to digital and digital to analog, that is done by modem. Okay, these the answer. Which part of the CPU performs calculations and makes decision? So the part of the CPU that does this mathematical operations task, that it is called ALU, arithmetic logic unit. So if you look at the options, option C is the right answer. Okay, next. CD-ROM stands for. So CD-ROM, students, it is compact disk read-only memory. Option A is the right answer. Next is a machine that links two networks using two different protocols. So this question is really important. The task is accomplished by when you want to connect a machine that is linked to two different networks. So that task is performed by a gateway. Is the right answer. What is the responsibility of logical unit in the CPU of a computer? So, as I told you in one of the questions, that ALU does the task of your mathematical calculations or arithmetic calculation. There is also something called LU, logical unit. Its task is to compare numbers, okay? Greater than, less than, or equals to, not equals to. That is done by logical unit. Okay, mathematical is done by ALU. Remember this. Okay, next is the system unit of a personal computer typically contains all of the following except. So the question is saying the system unit of a PC, personal computer, is the full form of PC, which contains this. Yes, PC contains microprocessor. This is right. Disk controller is also there. Serial interface is also there. But modem is not a part of the system. It is there externally, and its task is to convert analog signals into digital and digital into analog. Okay, a modern computer operates on. So all the modern computers that we are using, like your supercomputers, your mainframes, all they operate, or you can say work. They work on data. Okay. So as you all know, the task of a computer is to process data. So that is also the task of all modern computers. Which one among the following is the main system board of a computer? CPU, keyboard, microchip, or motherboard? So motherboard is the right answer to this question. All the chips, your like your this RAM, ROM, all of these are connected, or your hard disk, all these are connected into your motherboard. It is a main circuitry board of your system. An error in a computer is it a virus, bug, fatal error, or power error? The right answer is option B, bug. Bug means any flaw. Okay, there is the computer is designed to do a specific task. If it is not doing it correctly or properly, we can call it a bug. Okay, next is a compiler is used to convert the following to object code which can be executed. So which is the language that a compiler translates? Natural language, assembly, low level, or high level? The right answer is high level language. The examples of high level languages are C, C++, your Python. Okay, so what a compiler does, it translates or converts all the source code at once. Okay, interpreter goes line by line, but compiler converts all the the language or the code into your object code. Object code is that code that the computer will understand. Okay, it is the binary format of your code. Next is which, in which of the following languages a source program is written. So source program is that program that a software developer writes, and he writes in a high level language. Okay, high level language, we are calling it because it is very similar to English. Like if you want to open a file, there would be a command like open, or you want to close something, the command will be close. These type of words are used in coding, so that it makes very easier for the developers to code, rather than coding in like your previous year language like natural language or assembly language. Those were very hard to code. Okay, next is ICT comprises of information and communication technology. It comprises of online learning. Yes, it does. Learning through mobile apps. Yes. Web-based learning. Also, yes. We can, like today you are learning through YouTube. Yes, this is also a form of ICT. So, in this question, the right answer is option D. All. Which number system is used to store data and perform calculations in computer? So your octal number system, it has base 8 students, binary has base 2, decimal has 10, and hexadecimal has 16. But the number system that is used by computer is called binary number system. B is the right answer. Who played an important role in developing first supercomputer in India? So that the person behind him is Vijay Bhatkar. Uh, he was the person who has been able to develop the first supercomputer, whose name was Param 8000. It was developed in CDAC Pune in early 1990s. So Vijay Bhatkar is very important. You should know this information. The speed of processor of a computer is measured in hertz, baud, bps, or mips. The right answer is option A, hertz. Let's look at other options as well. Baud, students, it is used for data transmission speed. Bps is used for uh, it is used in finance. Okay, and MIPS is million instructions per second. Okay, so for processor speed, we are using hertz, like 5 gigahertz, 6 gigahertz, like that. Internet Explorer belongs to which application category? Is it a mail client, web browser, spreadsheet, or folder? Definitely, it is a web browser. We all know Internet Explorer is very famous. It was developed by Microsoft. B is the answer. What type of operating system or OS is MS-DOS? So MS-DOS is a very old operating system. It is a CLI operating system. CLI means command line interface. You might have seen sometimes you open command prompt like the back screen comes na. The same way MS-DOS is a command line interface. Whatever you want to open, you will have to write. There are certain programs like there is CD. CD means change directory or list, like that. We use command line interface in your MS DOS. By graphical user interface, Windows is a very good example of graphical user interface. Next is, which technology is used in compact disc? Compact disc means CDs that we use. Everybody knows CDs. There are different tracks and sectors inside a CD. So the technology behind the compact disc is laser. That is why it is called optical storage. Okay, remember this. Next is, which of the following comprise the input device? Keyboard, mouse, both, or only one? You all know keyboard is used to give instructions to the computer. Yes, it is an input device. Also, mouse is an input device. Whenever we want to open a file, we click on it with a mouse. So even mouse is also a input device. That is why C is the answer, both 1 and 2. Where are the instructions which are used to run a digital computer stored? Motherboard, hard disk, memory, or all of the above? The right answer to this question is option C, memory. The digital computer, students, it is used, it works by counting, comparing, or manipulating various digits, okay? And their combinations and the instructions, they are stored in the memory. That is why C is the answer. Next is, which of the following devices produces a permanent human readable text or graphic document? The right answer to this question is option C, printer. See, human readable means that we can read. Okay, text is the printed copy that comes out of a printer, and of graphical document. It could be an image, it could be a simple text. So the device that produces this hard copy of your document, it is called a printer. Okay. Headphone is a output device. Also, all these are output devices, but human readable text, it is generated by a printer. What does BCC mean? When you're sending email, you might have seen some fields like to, CC, and BCC. Here the question is saying, what is the full form of this BCC? BCC stands for blind carbon copy. Whatever, if you have put something, any email ID in BCC, the uh, email IDs in to and CC, they cannot see who is there inside BCC. The email IDs are hidden actually, but the person who is in BCC, he can see the 2 and CC, but vice versa is not true. What is the default file extension of MS Excel files? So Microsoft Excel files, what is the extension? ACS, EXE students executable files. While if we talk about MS Excel, the file extension is XLS. D is the answer. Malware is a short of. So you might have heard of a term called software. There is also a term malware, and it is the short form for malicious software. Malicious is something that causes harm, and your virus, worm, Trojan horse, logic bomb, all these are different kinds of malware, and which is the short form of malicious software. These the answer. Which of the following is a program that copies themselves throughout a computer or network? So the program that copies itself, makes multiple copies of itself, and it can harm your computer or other computers. It is called virus. Okay. C is the answer. Worm is also a type of virus. Which of the following places the common data element in order from smallest to highest? So students, the smallest is character. Then there is something called field. A field makes a record. Like if there is a student table, field is like student name, student age, student class, student marks. So this is called a different field. Like there is student one, this is field one, there is field two. So this is, and these multiple rows, they combine to form a file, and multiple file combines to form a database. So the smallest to highest is option C. Next is, dash is the permanent memory built into your computer called. So the permanent memory that is built in inside your system by the manufacturer itself, it is called read only memory. Whatever is there inside a room, you cannot change it, and it has very crucial information regarding your computer. Okay, is the answer. USB type storage device is secondary, auxiliary, tertiary, or primary. USB means your universal serial bus, your pen drive. I could say it in a simple word. So, pen drive is an example of secondary storage. Is the right answer. Next is, which of the following is an extension of video file format in computers? So, as we all know, students, JPG stands for Joint Picture Export Group. It is an image file format. EXE is executable file format. BMP is a image file format, and the full form is bitmap. While your MPG, moving picture expert group, it is a video file format. C is the answer. Which of the following devices is required to connect a computer to the internet? So pen drive, do you think it connects you to the internet? No. Does a mouse connect to your mouse? No, not at all. DVD, does it help you to connect to the internet? Definitely not. The right answer is option D, modem. It converts analog into digital and digital into analog signals. Okay. Which of the following is an example of system software? Firefox, Notepad, Windows 98, or Avira. So students, system softwares are those software which provide a platform so that other softwares are able to run on it. Operating system is a kind of system software. So if you look at the options, Firefox is a application software, Notepad is also application software. Avira is a antivirus. It is also application software. While your Windows 98 is an example of system software. D is the right answer. Okay. In the comment section below, because it will help us to know how much this unit is prepared for you. Also, first we'll be starting with June 2010 questions, and then we'll go till September 2020. So the first question that was asked here is, which one of the following is the most important quality of a good teacher? The question is asking what defines a teacher to be good. Punctuality, sincerity, content mastery and reactive, content mastery and sociable. The right answer to this question is option C, content mastery and reactive. Content mastery means the teacher should know the subject very well, and reactive means that the teacher reacts to the students trying out different things and tailors the teaching experience. Next is, the primary responsibility for teachers' adjustment lies with the teacher, the principal, the teacher himself, the community. The right answer here is option B, the principal. Next question is, which one of the following statement is correct? Syllabus is an annexure for the curriculum. Curriculum is same in all educational institutions, so this is wrong. It is different. Curriculum includes both formal and informal education. Curriculum does not include methods of evaluation. This is also not correct. So curriculum means the whole learning experience for a student. A successful teacher is one who is compassionate and disciplinarian, quiet and reactive, tolerant and dominating, passive and active. The right answer is compassionate and disciplinarian. A is the right answer. As per the NCTE norms, what should be the staff strength for a unit of 100 students at grade level? So NCTE stands for National Council for Teachers Education. So for them, the staff strength for 100 students at grade level is 1 plus 10. C is the answer. Some students in a classroom exhibit great curiosity for learning. It may be because such children are gifted, come from rich families, show artificial behavior, or create indiscipline in the class. So you might have seen that there are a set of children who has, a eagerness to know things. So because they are gifted, they want to know. They are gifted by God. This curiosity or thing that is given by God to them. The most important quality of a good teacher is sound knowledge of subject matter, good communication skills, concern for students' welfare, effective leadership quality. So this question was asked in December 2010. The right answer here is sound knowledge of subject matter is very important for a teacher to be a good teacher. Which one of the following is appropriate in respect of teacher-student relationship? So the question is asking what should be the kind of relationship between a teacher and a student. Very informal and intimate, no. Limited to classroom only, that is also not true. Indifferent means ignorant, that they shouldn't bother for each other. The right answer is option C, cordial and respectful. Cordial means friendly, and the teacher and the student should give each other respect as well. The academic performance of students can be improved if parents are encouraged to. The question is asking how means what the parents should do so that the students they perform or they do good in the school or in the class. Supervise the work of their wards. Wards means students. Arrange for extra tuition. No, this is not right. Remain unconcerned. This is also not true. A parent should always be concerned about their children. Interact with teacher frequently. So this is also not very appropriate answer. The right answer is option A. The teachers, student, parent should know what the students are doing, or they should also find out ways in which they can help the student. In a lively classroom situation, there is likely to be. The question is asking more what makes a classroom lively. If a parent approaches the teacher to do some favor in the examination to his or her ward, ward means student, In the examination, the teacher should, the question is asking if by chance a parent comes to the teacher, telling that his son or her daughter to get some favor in the examination, like extra marks or anything, any help, what should a teacher do in that situation? Try to help him, ask him not to talk in those terms, refuse politely and firmly, ask him rudely to go away. The right answer to this question is refuse politely and firmly. Refuse means to reject, and politely means to talk softly and kindly, and firmly means it should be strong. Okay, strongly. Next is, for maintaining an effective discipline in the class, the teacher should allow students to do what they like, deal with the students strictly, give the students some problem to solve, deal with them politely and firmly. So at times, if the teacher wants to uh, make discipline or create discipline in the class, the teacher should deal with them, deal with the class or the students politely and firmly. Next is, an effective teaching aid is one which is colorful and good looking, activates all faculties, is visible to all students, easy to prepare and use. So this question was asked in June 2021. Teaching aid are those things which help the teacher in teaching. It could be blackboard, it could be audio visual aid, anything that helps the teacher in teaching. The right answer to this is option B, activates all faculties. Next is, those teachers are popular among students who develop intimacy with them, help them solve their problems, award good grades, or take classes on extra tuition fee. The question is asking what kind of teachers are liked by the students. The right answer is option B, the teachers who help the students solve their problems. Okay, because at times if the student comes with any doubts, the teacher should be able to solve it. Okay, the essence of an effective classroom communication is, the question is asking what makes a classroom environment effective. Options are a variety of teaching aids, lively student teacher interaction, pinned of silence, or student discipline. What makes a effective classroom environment? The right answer is option B, lively teacher student interaction. If the student and teacher will interact with each other, so there will be the students will be open, the teacher will get feedback from the students, and the student will also, if they have any doubts, they can also get it cleared from the teacher. On the first day of his school, if a teacher is asked by the students to introduce himself, he should. So this question is self-explanatory. The question is asking when the teacher goes to the school and it's his or her first day, and the students they ask him to tell him about himself. What should he do? Ask them to meet after class, tell them about himself in brief, ignore the demand and start teaching, scold the students. So this is absolutely wrong. Uh, the teacher should not unnecessarily scold the students. The right answer is tell them about himself in brief. Brief means in short, okay, not very lengthy. Uh, in a short manner, the teacher should explain to the students. Moral values can be effectively inculcated among the students when the question is asking if the teacher wants that the student should develop moral values, what should she do? Frequently talk about values? No, this is wrong. Tell story about great persons? This is also not correct. Talks about God and goddesses? That is also not right. The right answer is option B, himself practices them. So if the teacher is trying to teach to be kind and polite, uh, then the teacher should first himself be kind and polite. When the students will look at the teacher, they will automatically follow the teacher. Okay. When some students are deliberately attempting to disturb the discipline of the class by making mischief, what will be your role as a teacher? expelling those students, isolate those students, reform the group with your authority, or giving them an opportunity for introspection and improve their behavior. So the question is asking if intentionally, if some students are trying to cause disturbance in the class, what should a teacher do? The right answer is option D, giving them an opportunity. So teacher should not directly scold him or just punish them. She should like give them a chance so that they can improve their behavior. Which of the following belongs to a projected aid? So projected aid is like when there is a screen on which through some device a picture is being projected. So the question is asking which of these among the following options are a projected aid. Since blackboard, you see there is no screen. Globe also does not belong to projected aid. Diorama is like, students, we make models in the schools. You remember? In our schools, we used to make models of various things. Those are called diorama. The right answer is option C, epidiascope. It is a kind of a projected aid. A teacher is said to be fluent in asking questions if he can ask meaningful questions, as many as questions possible, maximum number of questions in a fixed time, or many questions in a fixed time. The right answer is option A, meaningful questions. The questions should be meaningful, not off the point questions. Which of the following qualities is most essential for a teacher? The question is asking the most essential characteristics of a teacher, quality of a teacher. He should be a learned person, well dressed, have patience, or be expert in his subject. The right answer is option C, should have patience, because patience is a very important quality of a teacher, because dealing with kids and children is requires a lot of patience. If you get an opportunity to teach a visually challenged student along with normal students, what type of treatment would you like to give him in the class? The question is asking, sometimes if in a class there is one student who is not able to see properly, he has some vision problems, how will you deal that situation? Not giving extra attention, so this is not right. Every student has a should get equal opportunity. Take care of him sympathetically in the classroom, this is also not right. You will think that blindness is his destiny and hence you cannot do anything. So, this is also not right. The right answer is option D. Arrange a seat in the front row and try to teach at a pace convenient to him. Okay, so this comes in inclusive education. Which of the following is a characteristic of good achievement test? So, achievement test, student, is a kind of test which tells how much knowledge that students have gained from what has been taught to them. Like the teacher has taught a lesson, and through that achievement test, teacher wants to see how much the students have understood. So, the question is asking which of the following is not a characteristics, okay, of a achievement test: reliability, objectivity, ambiguity, or validity. The right answer is ambiguity. Achievement should be reliable, it should be objective, there should not be any biasness, and it should be valid, means it should uh, find out things that it is supposed to find. Which of the following does not belong to a projected aid? Overhead projector, blackboard, epidiascope, or slide projector? The right answer is option B, blackboard. See, all these are in one of the questions I told you, epidiascope is a projector aid. So the question is asking which is not a projected aid. So epidiascope is a projected aid, overhead projector, and slide projector. Blackboard, see, does blackboard has any screen on which a picture is being displayed? No, that is why it is not a projected aid. For a teacher, which of the following methods would be correct for writing on the blackboard? Writing fast, as clear as possible, writing the matter first, then asking students to read it, asking a question to students and then writing the answer, writing the important points as clearly as possible. So the question is asking which of the following methods is correct for writing on the blackboard? What should be followed while writing on the blackboard? The right answer is option D, writing the important points. The teacher should not write everything on the blackboard, only the important points, and it should be clear. That means the student should be able to read it. The point should be legible. A teacher can be successful if she helps the students in becoming better citizens, imparting subject knowledge, preparing students to pass the examination, presents the subject matter in a well organized manner. The right answer is option D, presents the subject matter in a well organized manner. Dynamic approach to teaching means. The question is asking what is the meaning of dynamic approach in teaching. Teaching should be forceful and effective. Teaching should be energetic and dynamic. The topics of teaching should not be static but dynamic. The students should be required to learn through activities. The right answer is option D. In dynamic approach, the students are taught through activities. The students, they discuss, they participate. Like role play is also an example of dynamic approach in teaching. For an effective and durable learning, learner should be. So, what makes a learning effective and durable? What should the learner do? Ability to learn only, requisite level of motivation only, opportunities to learn only, desired level of ability and motivation. The right answer is option D. The learner should have the required ability, means he should have the required talent and motivation as well. The student should be motivated, he should have a willingness to learn. Classroom communication must be teacher centric, student centric, general centric, or textbook centric. The right answer is option B, student centric, where students are the center. The students have they participate in the teaching learning process. Next is, the best method of teaching is to impart information, ask students to read books, suggest good reference material, or initiate a discussion and participate in it. Which of the following is the best method of teaching? The right answer is initiate in discussion and participate in it. See, in many of the questions, this has come discussion and participation. These things are very important in a classroom. This classroom should be lively. Interaction inside the classroom should generate arguments, information, ideas, or controversy. The right answer is option C. All the discussions that happens inside the classroom, it should create ideas. Spare the rod and spoil the child gives the message that punishment in the class should be banned, corporal punishment is not acceptable, undesirable must be punished, or children should be beaten with rods. This is absolutely not right. The right answer is undesirable behavior must be punished. Like if a student harms another student, at that is an undesirable behavior. It should not be accepted and the student should be punished. Blackboard can be utilized best by a teacher for putting matter of teaching in black and white, making students attentive, writing important and notable points, highlight the teacher himself. So, what is the use of a blackboard for a teacher? The right answer is writing the important and notable points. Next is, nowadays the most effective mode of learning is self study, means studying on their own. No. Face to face learning, where like two people, they are in front of each other while learning. E learning means learning through online or internet. The right answer is option D, blended learning. So blended learning is a mix of face to face learning and e-learning. At the primary school stage, most of the teachers should be women because they can teach children better than men, know basic content better than men, are available on lower salaries, or can deal with children with love and affection. The answer is very straightforward. It is option D. because that women have that motherly instincts, that is why they have more affection towards children. And female teachers are usually they work at primary school stage. Which of the following is the highest order of learning? Chain learning, problem solving learning, stimulus response learning, or condition reflex learning? Right answer is option D, condition reflex learning. See, it means like a human or any subject, it associates a previously unrelated neutral stimulus with a different stimulus. Okay, that gives some kind of reaction. That is condition reflex learning. A person can enjoy teaching as a profession when he has control over students, commands respect from students, is more qualified than his colleagues, or is very close to his higher authorities. The right answer to this question is option B, commands respect from students. It means to have others observe and admire your actions. A diagram speaks more than 1,000 words. The statement means that the teacher should use diagrams in teaching. No. Speak more and more in the class. Not right. Not speak too much in the classroom. This is also not right. The right answer is use teaching aids in the class, because when a teacher uses teaching aids, the they get the subject more easily and clearly. It makes the learning process much more efficient. A good teacher must be resourceful and autocratic, resourceful and participative, resourceful and authoritative, or resourceful and dominant. The right answer is option B, resourceful and participative. Resourceful means having the ability to find quick and clever ways to solve difficult situations. Okay. Which of the following is the best method of teaching? Lecture method, discussion method, demonstration method, or question answer method? The right answer to this question is option C, demonstration method. It means like while teaching, you are using visual aids like flip chart, posters, PPTs. With the demonstration methods, teacher is able to give student experiences of real event phenomena or processes. That is why it is the best method of teaching. Which of the following is a scaled down teaching situation? Micro teaching, team teaching, cooperative teaching, or micro teaching? Okay, this is macro. Macro teaching means students when the teacher is teaching to the overall class. So it in this method, an instruction is delivered to the entire class at once. Okay, while in micro teaching, what happens is the teacher, it divides the classroom into small groups for some time, and this situation or this technique is usually used in elementary school. Okay, and the teacher usually she rotates around the tables. Okay, micro teaching, it is also known as scale down teaching. Successful communication in a classroom teaching is circular, reciprocal, directional, or influential. The right answer is option B, reciprocal. It refers to instructional activities in at times students, they become teacher to a small group. So that is reciprocal teaching. Which of the following types of evaluation assesses the learning progress to provide continuous feedback to teachers and students during instruction? So during instructions, when the students, they are evaluated, that is called formative evaluation. Okay, summative, it happens at year end. Okay, and diagnostic evaluation, it means to evaluate so that to check if the students have any kind of difficulties. Okay, while formative evaluation, it happens during the instruction, during the course of studies, and teacher sees where the students is lacking so that she can help and improve the student. While delivering lecture, if there is some disturbance in the classroom, a teacher should keep quiet for a while and then continue, punish those causing disturbance, motivate to teach those causing disturbance, or not bother of what is happening in the class. So if there is some disturbance in class, the teacher should motivate to teach those causing the disturbance. Effective teaching is a function of teacher satisfaction, teachers' honesty and commitment, teachers making students learn and understand, or teachers liking for professional excellence. The right answer is option C, teachers making students learn and understand the topic. The most appropriate meaning of learning is, so what defines learning? Acquisition of skills, modification of behavior, personal adjustment, or inculcation of knowledge. So there are learning could mean a lot of things, not just knowledge. There should be modification of behavior. The student or the child should become better as a person. That is the main purpose of teaching. Arrange the following teaching process in order: relate present knowledge with previous one, evaluation, reteaching, formulation, instructional objective, or presentation of instructional material. So if you see the options, the first I think it will go 4. So fourth is what? Formulation, instructional objective. Then comes your relate previous knowledge, present knowledge with previous. Okay, 4 1. Then presentation of instructional material, right? Fifth, okay, the teacher will teach. Then the teacher, what she will do? Evaluate. Third, then the teacher will evaluate, and finally what you will do? Reteach. Okay, evaluation is 2, then comes 3. So 4 1 5 2 and 3. The right answer is option D. Teacher's role at higher education is to provide information, promote self learning, encourage healthy competition, or help students to solve their problems. So at education means in college level, the teacher should promote self learning in students. B is the right answer. Now we have moved on to June 2014. Which one of the following is considered as a sign of motivated teaching? Students asking questions, maximum attendance of students, pin drop, silence in the classroom, or students taking notes. The right answer is students asking questions, because when the students ask questions, the teacher will understand whether they have understood the topic or not. Which of the following is the best method of teaching? Lecture, discussion, demonstration, or narration? The right answer is demonstration. Like teacher could use a visual aid or a blackboard or globe. She could use any number of things. Means demonstration method is the best method of teaching. Dyslexia is associated with. So this is a disorder. The question is asking it is related. It is which kind of disorder? Mental, behavioral, reading, or writing. So dyslexia, you might have seen the movie Tare Zameen Pe, where the little boy Ishan Awasthi, he was suffering from dyslexia, which is a reading disorder, and there is a writing disorder also. It is called dysgraphia. Okay, dysgraphia, and there is also a disorder dyscalculia, when the students have difficulty doing mathematical calculations. So dyslexia is reading, dysgraphia is writing, and dyscalculia is related to mathematics. Classroom communication is considered as effective, cognitive, affective, or selective. The right answer is option A, effective. See, a classroom communication is something that takes place between a student and a teacher. In this, the teacher should understand the various needs of the students. So, if in effective classroom communication, there should be best teaching methods and strategies. There should be two-way communication. Teachers should use technologies, and there should be feedback mechanism, very important. So that is called an effective classroom communication. Identify the category of evaluation that assesses the progress to provide continuous feedback to students during instructions. So this was asked in one of the previous questions as well. So during the instruction, which The method that evaluates it is called formative. Okay, summative, it tests after the course, after the teaching is complete. That assessment is called summative. During the course of instruction is called formative. Maximum participation of students during teaching is possible in lecture method, inductive method, textbook or textbook method. The right answer is maximum participation is in demonstration method. It is the best method of teaching. Diagnostic evaluation ascertains. Means what does diagnostic evaluation confirm? Students' performance at the beginning of instructions, learning progress and failures during instructions, degree of achievement, or causes and remedies of persistent learning problems during instructions. So, as the word itself said, diagnostic. Diagnostic means to find problems in the students and then finding the solution to their problems. So, that is what is diagnostic evaluation. Instructional aids are used by the teacher to glorify the class, attract the students, clarify the concept, or ensure discipline. So, instructional aid are used by the teacher to clarify the concepts. C is the answer. Attitude of the teacher that affects teaching pertains mean relates to affective domain, cognitive, connotative, or psychomotor. So, attitude of the teacher, like her emotions or feelings, all that relates to affective domain is the answer. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. Uh, these were the lines, and the question is asking who stated these lines. So the options are M.K. Gandhi, R.N. Tagore, Swami Vivekanand, or Sri Aurobindo. The right answer is option C, Swami Vivekanand. Which of the following is not a prescribed level of teaching? Memory, understanding, reflective, or differentiation. The right answer is option D, differentiation, because memory level, understanding level, and reflective level are the three important levels of teachings. Memory being at the bottom, then comes understanding, and then comes reflective level. Okay. Which of the following factors does not impact teaching? Means which does not affect teaching? Learning through experience, learning teachers' knowledge, classroom activities that encourage learning, or socio-economic background of teachers and students. The right answer is option D. See, the teacher or the student's background or their financial condition or the caste, all that does not and it should not impact the teaching learning process. Techniques used by a teacher to teach include lecture, yes, teacher uses lecture method. Interactive lecture, yes, discussion is there. Group work is also used by teacher, while self-study is used by students. So this is wrong. The right answer is A, B, and C. A good teacher is one who inspires the students to learn, gives useful information, explains concepts and principles, or gives printed notes. The right answer is inspires or the motivates the students to learn. Which of the following is the highest level of cognitive ability? Evaluation, knowing, understanding, or analyzing. The right answer here is option A, evaluation. Evaluation means to pass judgment to, like, it could be a statement or a novel or any report. So that is the highest level of cognitive ability. Achievement tests are commonly used for the purpose of assessing the amount of learning after teaching, making selection for specific job, selecting the candidates for a course, or identifying the strengths and weaknesses of a learner. The right answer is option A. See, achievement test is mainly used, like whatever the teacher has taught, she wants to know how much the students have understood. So to know that thing, the teacher uses achievement test. Greater the handicap of students coming to the educational institution, the demand greater the demand on family, society, teacher, or state. See, in a class there could be a variety of students. They could be physically handicapped, or they could have visual problems, or like hearing problems. So the teacher, she has to manage everything. She has to teach normal students, or how she will deal with somebody who is having a problem with vision or listening. So the greater demands comes on the teacher, because she is the one who is going to teach the students and manage the students. So if there is greater handicap in the students in the class, greater number of students, then the demand increases from the teacher. What are the characteristics of CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation? So CCE was introduced by CBSE in 2009. So here what happened is, it replaced marks with grades. So the characteristics of CCE are is being asked from this question. Increase the workload on students by taking multiple tests? No. Replace marks with grades? Yes, grades have come up. Evaluates every aspect of the student? Yes, CC does this thing. It helps in reducing examination phobia. Phobia means fear. So D is also right. The right answer becomes A, C, and D. A, C, and D. Sorry, B, C, and D. Right. A is not correct. These three are correct. Next is, which of the following attributes denote great strengths of a teacher? Full-time active involvement in institutional management. So teachers should not be involved in management, because management can involve politics as well. Setting examples? Yes. Willingness to put assumptions to test and acknowledging mistakes. So the right answer here is B, C, and D. Option B. Which of the following statement is correct in the context of MCQ type questions, multiple type questions? Like this is an example of MCQ. They are more objective than true false type questions. They are less objective. They are more subjective than short answer type question, or they are more subjective than true or false type question. The right answer is, they are more objective than true or false type questions. What are required for good teaching? Diagnosis, remedy, direction, or feedback? The right answer is option A. All of these. Diagnosis means to find problems within the students. Remedy is finding solution. Direction means guiding, and feedback means listening to what the students' doubts or their concern is. Which set of learner characteristics may be considered helpful in designing effective teaching learning system? Select the correct alternative. Prior experience of the learner in respect to the subject? Yes, this is helpful. Interpersonal relationship of learner, family, and friend? No, this is not right. Ability of the learner in respect of the subject? Yes, this is true. Students' language background? Yes, this is also right. Interest of students in following the prescribed dress code? No, this is not right. Motivation, orientation of the students? How much motivated the students are? The right answer becomes 1, 3, 4, and 6. 1, 3, 4, and 6. B is the right answer over here. Now again, there's a match the following question. Here you have list of cognitive interchange and the requirement of promotive cognitive interchange. Memory level, it is recording important points made during presentation. Understanding means analyzing the points made and discussed. Reflective is giving opportunity for discriminating examples and non-examples. So the right answer becomes 3, 1, and 4. Okay. C. Match the following with set items of set A with set B or set 2. Formative, summative, CCE, or NOR and criteria reference test. The right answer here is option A. Formative is goes with quizzes and discussions. and summative is your grading final learning outcomes. CCE is evaluative, cognitive, and co-cognitive. Cognitive means academic, and like co-cognitive is other aspect, co-curricular activities as well. Norm and criteria reference test, it is test and their interpretation based on group and certain yardstick. So here is the answer. Select the alternative which consists of positive factors contributing to effectiveness of teaching. So the question is asking which alternative comprises of positive aspects that relate to effectiveness of teaching. Teachers' knowledge of the subject, yes. Teachers' socioeconomic background, no. Communication skills, yes. Teachers' ability to please the students. Teachers' personal contact with the student, no. Teachers' competence in managing and monitoring the class, yes. The right answer here is A, C, and F. Okay. The use of teaching aid is justified on the grounds of attracting students' attention, minimizing indiscipline problems, optimizing learning outcomes of students, or effective engagement of students in learning tasks. So, the right answer here is option C. Optimizing means to increase the learning outcomes of students. Next is assertion and reason question. The purpose of higher education is to promote critical and creative thinking abilities among the students. So the assertion is absolutely right, students. While these abilities ensure job placement, this is also right, because if a student or a person goes to higher education institution, there are less chances of unemployment. But the reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. B is the right answer. Okay, going to higher education, the main motive is not only to ensure job, it is to make a person have better thinking abilities. Which of the following set of statements reflects basic characteristics of teaching? Teaching is the same as training. There is no difference between instruction and conditioning. When we teach, teaching is related to learning. Teaching is a task word while learning is achievement word. Okay, let's see the answer to this question. It's 3, 4, and 6. Teaching is related to learning. Teaching is task while learning is achievement, and one may teach without learning taking place. Which combination of methods of teaching is likely to optimize learning? The right answer here is option C. Interactive lecture sessions followed by buzz sessions, brainstorming, and projects. Next is the purpose of formative evaluation is to grade students' learning outcomes, accelerate students' learning performance, check the students' performance graph, or provide feedback to teacher effectiveness. The right answer is option A, accelerate students' learning performance. That is the purpose or use of formative evaluation. Which of the following learner characteristics are likely to influence the effectiveness of teaching aid and evaluation systems to ensure positive results? The right answer is option B. Learners' maturity level, academic performance, and motivational dispositions. Which of the following factors affect teaching? Choose the options. Teacher's internal locus of control, teacher motivation, teacher's biographical data, teacher's efficacy, co-curricular activities, teacher's skill in managing and monitoring, teacher's knowledge of the subject, including GK. The right answer is option A, 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. Okay, so 3 is not right, while all of the others are right. Okay, fifth is also not correct. Okay, teachers' interest in co-curricular activities. Assertion. Teaching aids have to be considered as effective supplements to instructions. Yes, this assertion is absolutely right because it helps the teacher. That is why it is supplement to instructions. So this is right assertion. While reason says They keep the students in good humor. This is the reason is also right, but the reason is not the correct explanation of A. That is why B is the answer. Both are true, but R is not the right explanation of assertion. Which of the following set of statements represents acceptable propositions in respect of teaching learning relationship? Choose the correct code. Um, when students fail in a test, it is teacher who fails. Every teacher must aim at ensuring learning. Yes, this is right. There can be teaching without learning taking place. This is also true. There can be no learning without teaching. This is not right. A teacher teaches but learns also. This is also true. Real learning implies rote learning. This is not right. The right answer is option B. 1, 2. Okay, this is also right. 3 and 5. Okay. Assertion is saying learning is a lifelong process. Yes, this is true. Reason is saying learning to be useful must be linked with life processes. So this is also true. But the reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. That is why this is the answer. Effectiveness of teaching has to be judged in terms of course coverage, students' interest, learning outcomes, or use of teaching aids in the classroom. The right answer is effectiveness of teaching has to be judged in terms of learning outcomes of students. In which teaching method learners' participation is made optimal and proactive? The right answer is option A, discussion method. Next, one of the most powerful factors affecting teaching effectiveness is related to social system of the class country, economic status of the society, prevailing political system, educational system. The right answer is option D, educational system. The most powerful factors affecting teaching effectiveness means what are the policies or the protocols that the government implements that will affect the educational system. Which of the following set of statements best represent the nature and objective of teaching and learning? The right answer is A, D, and E. Teaching is like selling and learning is like buying. Teaching is a kind of delivery of knowledge while learning is receiving, and teaching is an interaction and is triadic in nature while learning is active engagement of a subject in a subject domain. From the list given below, identify the learner characteristics which would facilitate teaching learning system to be effective. The right answer is A, C, and D. A is prior experience, yes. At aptitude of the learner, yes, this is also true. So D is here, okay. Learner's stage of development, yes, this is also true. The right answer here is A. Assertion. All teaching implies learning. Learning to be useful must be derived from teaching. The right answer is option C. All teaching implies learning. This is true, but learning to be useful must be derived from teaching. See, learning can be done through experiences also. So it is not true that only teaching will make learning useful. So this is not right. Assertion is true, reason is false. On the basis of summative tests, a teacher is interpreting his or her students' performance in terms of wellness lifestyle evident in behavior. This will be called criteria reference test. Okay. Which one of the following is key behavior in effective teaching? Using students' ideas and contributions, structuring instructional variety, or questioning. The right answer is C, instructional variety. Which of the following statements best describe nature and objective means aim of teaching? The right answer is A, C, and F. Teaching and learning are integrally related, yes. Concern of all teacher is to ensure some kind of transformation. Teacher wants modification of behavior. Teaching is social act while learning is a personal act. Okay, teacher is working. It is giving a lot to the society, and learning is like only one person is getting the knowledge. So learning is a personal act. Which of the following learner characteristics is highly related to effectiveness of teaching? Okay, so the question is asking among the following four, the learner characteristic that will make teaching effective. Prior experience, educational status of the parents, no. Peer group of the learner, family size, not at all. It is prior experience of the learner. If the learner knows a particular subject prior or in advance, he will understand the topic um, in a better way. So here again, there is a match the following question. Here there is methods of teaching, and the set 2 is basic requirement of success and effectiveness. The right answer I'll tell you 3, 4, 2 and 1. So lecturing is content delivery in a lucid language, while discussion it is theme based interaction. Yes, in discussion there is interaction among participants. Brainstorming is large number of ideas and programmed instructions. It's small step presentation with feedback provided. From the list of evaluation procedures given below, identify those which are called formative evaluation. So you see, formative evaluation has come many times in so many questions. So do study this properly. Uh, Coming back to the question, indicate your answer by choosing the code. So let's read again. From the list of evaluation procedures given below, identify those which will be called formative evaluation. The right answer is B, D, and F. So B is what? During interaction with students in the classroom, teacher provides corrective feedback. For example, the student pronounced something wrong. The teacher will correct. That is formative. Okay, the teacher clarifies the doubts of the students in the class. Yes, and learners motivation is raised by the teacher through a question answer session. So B, D and F is right. Identify the given statements pertaining to system, means relating to systems. Identifies which, correctly explain them. The right answer here is B, which is CRT focuses on limited domains of learning tasks. Norm-based test requires a clearly defined group. And fourth is both NRT and CRT use the same type of test items. So 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Which among the following reflects the best quality of a teacher in a classroom? Use of many teaching aids, through the quality of questions being asked, through full attendance in the class, through observation of silence. So these two are absolutely wrong. Among A and B, the right answer is option B, through the quality of questions being asked by the student. Among the following, which is not an instructional material? So instructional materials are those things that are used by a teacher to enhance teaching and learning situation or to achieve desired learning objective. The teacher uses a collection of material that is called instructional material. Among the following, projected or overhead projector is not an instructional material. Which among the following is best advantage of CBCS, choice based credit system? The right answer is shift in focus from teacher centric to student centric education. Which of the following is an example of maximum performance test? Personality test, projective test, aptitude test, or interest and attitude scales? The right answer is aptitude test. Which of the learner characteristic will influence his or her perspective in a course of study? The right answer is option A, 1, 3 and 4. Learner's commitment, learner's knowledge, prior knowledge of the learner, and skill of the learner in an area, concerned area. Which of the strategies in the list given below will be associated with directed teaching? The right answer is option C, providing examples and explanations, giving review and recapitulation, and offering practice and feedback. These three are right. The following teaching aids can be used by a teacher in the classroom as a live interactive device: email, Skype, online chat, teleconferencing, Facebook, or blog. The right answer here is option B, which is teacher can use Skype, online chat, and teleconferencing. The question is asking live interactive session. Obviously, email is not live, okay, nor Facebook and not blog. Live means when the communication is happening simultaneously. A teacher intends to find out learning difficulties in the students. Which of the following tests can be used? So, learning problems or difficulties is diagnostic tests. Remember, you might now remember dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. Okay. Student-centric classroom is mean for. The right answer is addressing individual differences is the answer. What is the main objective of formative evaluation? To promote students to the next classroom, enhance students' learning, enhance cooperation in the class, or to enhance the learning abilities. See, formative evaluation again. The right answer here is to understand learning difficulties, what problems the students are facing, so that the teacher can help the student. Classroom interactions are largely influenced by students' commitment is the right answer to this question. Which of the following teaching method is or are contributive to direct learning? Okay, direct learning. The right answer is option A, B, D, and E. Simulation and role playing, then participation in workshop, and MOOCs and heuristics. Reflective level teaching is different from memory level teaching because the pattern of communication that is involved. Reflective teaching is basically, the right answer is transactional. So in reflective level, there is the teaching is transactional, means there is simultaneous or spontaneous feedback is involved in reflective level teaching. Which one of the following assessment procedures is conducted during an in progress teaching learning session? So, in progress teaching learning session, the assessment is obviously formative. So, I think more than like nearly 10 questions were based on formative evaluation. Very important. Identify those uh, teaching strategies which are learner centered: cooperative learning, team teaching, laboratory based, pair shared discussion, lecturing with PPTs. The right answer is A, C, and D. Cooperative learning, laboratory based projects, pair shared discussions. Identify the tests from the list given below which are maximum performance tests in the context of research. The right answer is C, E, and F. Achievement test, then your intelligence and aptitude test. In which level of teaching the activities of structuring, guiding, and closely supervising the students' behavior is predominant? Um, Options are autonomous, development level, reflective level, understanding level, or memory level. The right answer is option D, memory level. So here, rote learning is it is motivated, where the teacher she guides and lectures the students